Chapter 25:30. The angle of the sword was very strange. No matter how strange the sword technique was, it was blocked by the huge net made of light beams. The Bing family leader felt that the sword had landed on an iron plate. The huge net did not move at all. Shang Sheng, do it! If they let the Avengers continue to be so presumptuous in the Bing family, then the Bing family would become a big joke. Bing Sheng gave the order, and the people hiding in the surroundings immediately came out, all targeting Lin Fei. As long as they could capture Lin Fei, the 18 subordinates would not be a threat. Bing Jing was very sure about this. He did not believe that the other party was that strong. The people in the surroundings were all elites under Bing Sheng's command. As soon as they appeared, the god-breaking arrows in their hands shot towards the other party. This was a weapon from Tianji Hall. It was very powerful and specialized in destroying the physical body. It had the effect of killing in one shot. Bang, bang, bang. Their god-slaying arrows had met their match. They were stopped 30 feet away, and an invisible shield appeared in front of them. I forgot to tell you that I know a lot of things. This is the Avengers Alliance's defensive array formation. You can try it out. Lin Fei said unhurriedly. The god-piercing arrows were blocked by the defensive formation, and the densely packed arrows shot over. Not a single one was effective, and the arrows fell all around him. Formation scroll! Bing Sheng thought of something and showed a look of disbelief. This was a formation scroll. Only a magic array scroll could silently set up a magic array. At first, he didn't believe it. Even the secret hall couldn't research it. So how could the Avengers master it? It was completely impossible. But now it seemed that the other party really had a formation scroll. This is going to be even more difficult. The Bing family leader knew that he had met his match. He had wanted to exhaust the other party's energy. Without the threat of the advanced energy gun, it would be easy for him. But now it seemed that this plan would not work. This Mu Yan of the Avengers had too many trump cards. Now that things had come to this, the Bing family leader threw caution to the wind. No matter what, he could not let the other party leave the Bing family. Everyone attack Mu Yan together. His defense formation will not last long. The Bing family patriarch ordered and took out a communication device. His eyes flashed with determination. Father, don't attack. Bing Qingya had seen the opponent's power. Her intuition told her that if the Bing family wanted to besiege the opponent, they would have to pay a huge price. The family was courting death. A hint of hesitation flashed through Bing Xinghai's eyes. To make a move or not to make a move, it was really difficult to make a choice. Father, listen to me. That Mu Yan is not as simple as he looks. Bing Qing still insisted that they should not deal with Mu Yan. Forget it, forget it. Bing Shanghai let go and retreated to the side with his men. Bing Shanghai, what are you doing? Bing Sheng revealed a happy expression. Just because of this, after tonight's matter, his third brother would lose the right to compete. They came up to cooperate, but not only did our Bing family not cooperate, we even attacked them together. I can't do such a thing. Bing Shanghai shook his head and said decisively. The others didn't share Bing Shanghai's thoughts. This was an opportunity. As long as they could capture the opponent, it would be equivalent to making a good contribution. Other than Bing Shanghai, the others all started attacking. They ordered their men to attack Lin Fei, wanting to tear apart the opponent's defensive formation. Patriarch, this old man is here to help you. A loud sound came from the sky, and a white-haired old man appeared. He punched through the air, and a powerful force forcefully shattered the destructive light beam. Eldarin, this is the power of a high-grade energy gun. You can't take it head-on. It's specialized in destroying the body. Go and capture the person at the door. The Bing family patriarch ordered. High-grade energy guns were powerful, but their biggest disadvantage was their lack of flexibility. In front of a ninth-stage professional, they could still avoid it. Eldarin naturally knew how powerful high-grade energy guns were, but he was also stimulated by the 18 high-grade energy guns. He dodged the destructive power of the high-grade energy guns and went straight for Lin Fei. Patriarch, leave this to this old man. It's just a defensive formation. Watch me break it and show him the power of the Bing family. Another one is coming to die. Lin Fei was very clear that high-grade energy guns were invincible in close-range attacks. It would be very difficult to deal with such people. He took out another treasure and put it on his shoulder. If the people from Tianji Hall were here, they would definitely recognize that this was clearly an improved heavy cannon. Now, it was a portable heavy cannon that could be used on one shoulder. It was a huge change and completely surpassed the heavy cannons of Tianji Hall. Boom! As Elder Rin rushed down, Lin Fei fired the first shot. An even thicker light beam appeared with incomparable brilliance. More than half of the Bing family became as bright as day. A destructive aura swept across everyone, and they subconsciously closed their eyes. Fear, true fear. Eldarin seemed to have been locked onto by something. In the next second, he was engulfed by the thick light beam. He didn't even have time to dodge before he turned into a blood mist in midair. The blood mist rained down from the sky, shocking everyone. The Bing family leader's pupils constricted. He looked at the scene in disbelief. Elder Rin of the Elders group had actually been blasted into nothingness. We're fighting, and you still dare to be distracted. In the next second, a chill came. The Bing family leader only felt that he was locked on by something terrifying. It was the heavy cannon on the other party's shoulder. Another thick light beam shot over. It passed through the void and appeared in front of him. His eyes instantly widened. Go all out. With a loud bang, the Bing family leader was sent flying. As expected of the Bing family, they actually have such a treasure. Lin Fei could clearly feel that the other party didn't die from the shot. He was only heavily injured. Lin Fei wasn't surprised that he didn't kill the other party. To be able to establish a headquarters in the ancient desolation great world, they definitely had a foundation. As for that Elder Rin, he was just unlucky. I'm not playing with you anymore. Before I leave, I'll give you a gift. Ha ha ha. Lin Fei turned around and carried the heavy cannon. He aimed at the location of the Bing family leader and fired. The light beam whizzed over, and with a loud bang, the entire meeting hall was blasted into smithereens, turning into ruins. The second shot was fired, again at the place where the crowd was gathered. Anyone who insults the Avengers Alliance will end up like this. Another shot, a total of 3 heavy cannons. Chapter 2531. Heavy Cannon. Everyone in the Bing family was panicking, especially after recognizing this thing. Their bodies were shaking uncontrollably. This was the heavy weapon of the Secret Heaven's secret hall, a priceless treasure. Even a 9th job advancement expert would tremble in front of this heavy cannon. The name of the heavy cannon made people tremble in fear. After 3 heavy cannons, the Bing family's thoughts of resistance were suppressed. Who would want to be locked on by a heavy cannon? This thing couldn't be avoided at all. Master Muyen, please have mercy. In an unexpected situation, Bing Qingya stood up and blocked in front of everyone. No one had expected that Mu Yan from the Avengers Alliance would have so many trump cards on him. Advanced energy guns, heavy cannons, defensive array scrolls. Any one of them would make one's eyes go red with envy. Yet Mu Yan could casually take them out as if they cost nothing. Everyone in the Bing family was scared. They didn't see Eldarin being blasted into pieces. The patriarch wasn't any better, feeling like he was on his last breath. This was the first time Lin Fei used such a heavy weapon. Its power was quite strong. Awesome. The heavy cannon in his hand was also an improved heavy cannon. Its power was much greater than that of the Heavenly Secrets halls, and its performance was completely incomparable. Lin Fei carried the heavy cannon, pointing the black muzzle at everyone, making them feel uncomfortable. I didn't expect you to stand up. We were supposed to cooperate well, hee hee. Lin Fei said indifferently. Bing Qingya's heart was full of bitterness. The chance to strengthen the Bing family was right in front of them, but it was ruined by a few people. Even the Bing family lost Elder Rin. As long as you let us go, we are willing to take all the responsibility, Bing Qingya said firmly. If this continued, the Bing family would be torn apart. Who could stop the enemy's heavy cannon? Bing Qingya, what are you saying? Who allowed you to say that? The Bing family still has the power to fight. The elder group isn't just for show. Bing Sheng said sternly. The Avengers are nothing. We have more people. Do you think he can destroy the Bing family with just one person? The entire Bing family seemed to be affected by Bing Sheng's words. The opponent was only one person, while the Bing family had so many disciples. Even if this Mu Yan was powerful, he might not be able to use his weapon limitlessly. They still had a chance to win. Lin Fei shook his head. The lesson wasn't deep enough. Boom! Another beam of light shot out. Sir, that's enough. At that moment, a huge black shield flew out of the void. It was like a huge mountain, and it stabbed into the ground in front of the ice mountain. With a loud rumble, the earth shook, and the buildings were reduced to ruins. Great Elder, you've come at the right time. You must kill him and take revenge for the Bing family. Bing Sheng came back to his senses and looked at the people in the sky, revealing a happy expression. The Great Elder was the one with the most authority in the group of elders. Whether or not the Bing family's patriarch could sit stably without the first elder's permission, everyone would feel guilty. Even the elders have shown themselves. Could it be that they also want to test out my heavy cannons? Lin Fei smiled. The Great Elder, Bing Changha, frowned. Isn't your Avengers a little too much? More than half of the Bing family had been reduced to ruins, with a large number of casualties. One of their 9th profession advancement experts had been killed, and another had been seriously injured. How many years had it been since the Bing family suffered such humiliation? Too far? I don't think so. I was cooperating with your Bing family, but you guys sneak attacked us, ridiculed us, and finally attacked us. Is this what your Bing family should do? So what if I killed a few of you? If you anger me, I will directly annihilate your Bing family. If you don't believe me, you can try. The corner of Lin Fei's mouth rose, and he pulled the trigger, firing a heavy cannon at the Great Elder Bing Changha, attacking without saying a word. Bing Changha was very afraid of the other party. Knowing that the Bing family was behind him, he waved his hand and recalled the shield, using it to block in front of him. In the darkness of the night, a loud sound reverberated, lingering for a long time. You can guess how many more cannons I can fire. Can this treasure of yours last? Lin Fei said unhurriedly. Bing Changha felt a heartache. After 2 consecutive heavy cannons, this treasure had been greatly affected. Outsiders might not be able to tell, but there was a trace of internal collapse. As long as 3 more shots were fired, this treasure would definitely shatter. How could the Avengers have such a powerful heavy cannon in their hands? We offended them for no reason. Bing Changha wished he could grab the clan leader and give him a good beating. After they abdicated, they basically didn't care much about the Bing family's affairs. But the commotion tonight was too big, especially the heavy cannon attacks. They had no choice but to show themselves, or the entire Bing family would be destroyed. When they finally showed themselves, Bing Changha felt a trace of helplessness. The other party was too strong, especially the heavy weapons in their hands. To them, it was a terrifying deterrent. No one could guarantee how many more shots the other party could fire. 1 or 2 was fine. But if it exceeded 10, the Bing family couldn't afford to gamble. Let's not talk about the heavy cannons. Just the high-grade energy guns alone made Bing Changha feel a trace of possessiveness. He hated his family's good-for-nothings. Now that things had escalated to this point, he was really angry. Bing family! As soon as Bing Changha opened his mouth, Lin Fei fired another cannon shot. The cannon shot whistled over and landed heavily on the shield, causing a slight cracking sound to ring out. Continue. The few members of the Elder Committee beside Bing Changha all had ugly expressions on their faces. It had always been them suppressing others, and no one had ever suppressed them. Furthermore, they had encountered someone who didn't play by the rules. The accumulated energy from any one of these cannons was enough to make them feel a deep fear and dread. Sir Mu Yan, what exactly do you want? Bing Changha suppressed his anger. He knew that at this moment he was in a disadvantageous position and had no choice but to lower his head. He couldn't afford to gamble. If the other party didn't have any heavy weapons, Bing Changha wouldn't need to fear them. He could just attack and take them down. After all, he had the strength to do so. Lin Fei smiled. Not bad. You finally know how to talk. I thought you guys would continue to be tough. In that case, I don't mind playing with you one cannon at a time. Let's see who will give up first, you or me. Lunatic, Bing Changha blurted out a word. Only a lunatic would do such a thing. I'm in a very bad mood tonight. A good cooperation has been ruined by you guys. If I can't complete the headquarters mission, I won't have a good time. Therefore, I need you guys to compensate for this loss. 5 million black crystal cards will do. No, 5 million black crystal cards is too much. Bing Changha refused flatly. Then I can only start a massacre. Since I can't complete the mission if I don't have a good time, you guys won't have a good time either. Lin Fei said fiercely and fired another cannon. Lunatic, what a lunatic! Bing Changha roared. Chapter 2532. Under the deterrence of the heavy weapons. The great elder of the Bing family, Bing Changha, had no choice but to hand over 5 million black crystal cards to satisfy the other party's conditions. After obtaining 1.5 million black crystal cards, Lin Fei swaggered out of the Bing family. Before he left, he said to Bing Qingya, Miss Bing, this cooperation is terrible, but it's also for a reason. You can't be blamed for this. If you want to buy it in the future, you can come find me. The price is negotiable. An exquisite card fell in front of Bing Qingya. Avengers Alliance, Vanguard Army, Mu Yan. There were only a few words on it, but no one dared to ignore its importance. Bing Qingya didn't avoid the others' gazes and kept the card with a complicated mood. Lin Fei had left, but for the Bing family this was just the beginning. Bing Changha had ordered for the Bing family to be locked down to suppress this matter. If this matter was spread, the Bing family would definitely become a big joke. Locking down the news was the first. The second was to understand the cause and effect of this matter. Since Bing Changha, the great elder of the Elder Council, had spoken, no one dared to hide anything. One by one, they told the truth. This great elder's face became gloomy and scary. Bastards, you are a bunch of bastards. After understanding the situation, Bing Changha couldn't help but roar. His voice was deafening and lasted for the time it took for an incense stick to burn. Everyone dared not raise their heads to speak. What the hell are you thinking? Qing, you finally contacted the Avengers, but you guys actually destroyed it. Bing Xingshan deserves to die. Bing Changha was furious. At first, he thought that the Avengers were putting on airs. But now, it seemed that it wasn't the other party who was putting on airs. Instead, it was their internal strife. In the end, not only did they not gain anything, but the Bing family suffered a great loss. Bing Changha really wanted to kill each and every one of them. He was very disappointed with them. Even the clan leader who was about to leave was very dissatisfied. The few of you don't have to go out for a year. Stay in your own courtyards and reflect on what you did wrong. Whoever dares to go out without this old man's permission will no longer have the surname Bing. Whether it was Bing Xingshan or the others, their faces were very ugly. It was as if their parents had died. Qingye, you stay. Everyone else, get out. Right now. Bing Changha felt vexed at the sight of them. They had stirred up so much trouble for no reason, especially when they had offended the mysterious Avengers Alliance. Under the might of the Great Elder, they all obediently went out. The Great Elder could strip them of everything with a single word, so no one dared to court death here. Chinya, you did very well in this matter. You don't have to feel uneasy. Bing Changha admired Bing Chinya very much. Now that the family has paid a heavy price, I am also responsible for it. Bing Chinya did feel a little guilty. If she didn't want to cooperate with the Avengers, this wouldn't have happened. Let bygones be bygones. 500,000 black crystal cards. The Bing family can still afford it. A few people died, it's nothing. We can just nurture them in the future. Right now, Bing Changha needed to face the Avengers Alliance. Tell me about your matter, especially how you met that Mu Yan. This is related to the future of our Bing family. Bing Chinya realized that this was also an opportunity. She couldn't help but feel grateful for what Mu Yan had done in the end. She had never seen the Great Elder speak so calmly before. There was even a hint of kindness in his voice. This was something that rarely happened. Lin Fei left the Bing family. He was very careful along the way. Only when no one followed him did he feel relieved. I caused a huge ruckus in the Bing family. Although I didn't complete the transaction, at least I got one. 5 million black crystal cards. At least I didn't lose anything. The Bing family must have vomited a mouthful of blood. The first transaction ended in failure, which also gave Lin Fei a reminder. Now it seems that it's obviously impossible to cooperate with these aristocratic sects in the ancient desolation great world. The influence of Tianji Hall has played a big role. Lin Fei completely gave up on the idea of cooperating with them. If it wasn't for the income of hundreds of thousands of black crystal cards, Lin Fei wouldn't have been so unscrupulous when using the heavy artillery. The power of each cannon was not light. One cannon shot would cost at least 10,000 black crystal cards. This was also one of the reasons why Lin Fei opened his mouth and asked for 500,000 black crystal cards. I have to support a tribe immediately, and on the human side, it seems that I should also support one and become a representative on the surface. In the future, there will be no need to go through so much trouble. Lin Fei knew that his own products were good, but they couldn't withstand the influence of Tianji Hall. It's imperative to hold an auction. The next day, a shocking news spread in the southern cloud continent. As for who spread the news, it was unknown. After it spread, it had already become a storm in the city, and the entire southern cloud continent knew about it. The southern cloud continent's great power, the Bing family, suffered the revenge of the Avengers Alliance and even lost a member of the Elder Group. The specific information was not disclosed for the time being, but even so, it caused an uproar in the southern cloud continent. Thinking about the movement last night, everyone seemed to understand. The movement last night was too big, and the terrifying aura was sensed by many experts in the southern cloud continent, and even they had a trace of fear. The name of the Avengers Alliance had almost no influence in the southern cloud continent. But after this time, everyone didn't think so. There was news that the terrifying aura last night, in fact, came from the Avengers Alliance's secret weapon, a type of heavy weapon that could threaten a 9th-stage professional expert. No one doubted this news at all. The Avengers Alliance became famous. Now, in the entire southern cloud continent, who didn't know the name of the Avengers Alliance, and some forces who were on good terms with the Bing family, personally went to the Bing family, saw the large ruins, and confirmed that there was no mistake and couldn't help but sigh. This time, everyone calmed down. Even the great elder Bing Changha of the Elder Group vaguely revealed a piece of news. That was, the weapons in the hands of the Avengers Alliance were more sophisticated and of a higher grade than those in Tianji Hall. As for why the Avengers Alliance would make a move against the Bing family, Bing Changha did not disclose. For a moment, everyone was discussing this Avengers Alliance. Chapter 2533. Donglian Continent. Compared to the calm South Cloud Continent, the Donglian Continent was a land of chaos. Human factions of all sizes, the demon god empire, and the native tribes of the ancient desolation great world caused the Dong Lian continent to be in a state of chaos. Because the Dong Lian continent produced a large number of energy wall stones, there were constant battles. Although they were suppressed, the tribal alliance had always interfered. At the same time, this place had another name: public region. That's right, the Dong Lian continent was a public region. This was a place that the tribal alliance and the important figures of the human race had negotiated. This was a place that the important figures of both sides had agreed to interfere in. Most of the battles between the two sides were in the Dong Lian continent, and it was normal for local battles to break out from time to time. What a mess! After leaving the South Cloud continent, Lin Fei finally chose to come to the Dong Lian continent. This was the only place he could interfere in. Compared to the other continents, this place was dangerous and safe. The other continents were very xenophobic, and it was difficult for the human race to establish a foothold there. The Dong Lian continent did not have to worry about such things. As long as one had the strength and dared to fight, this place would be their ideal paradise. Lin Fei chose the Dong Lian continent. He was prepared to find a faction that he could support and expand his influence in the Dong Lian continent. After coming from the South Cloud continent, Lin Fei stayed in the Dong Lian continent for almost a month. He spent most of his time gathering information so that he could choose a suitable target to support. Even though it was just a small target, it was still difficult for Lin Fei. Fortunately, during this month, with the help of the little devil, gathering information became much easier. Lin Fei walked around in his human form, and no one paid attention to him. This was a common sight in the Dong Lian continent. After a month, Lin Fei understood some of the situation in the Dong Lian continent and the distribution of the factions. For example, not long ago, there was an ore vein with 5 million black crystal cards. It came from the Expeditionary Empire in the Dong Lian continent. For this ore vein, the Expeditionary Empire and the Demon God Empire fought a war and suffered great losses. In the end, the Expeditionary Empire won. In the Dong Lian continent, the Expeditionary Empire and the Demon God Empire each occupied a piece of territory and had great influence. There were also hidden families that could not be underestimated. It could be said that the Dong Lian continent was a place where forces stood in great numbers and experts were as common as the clouds. For example, the major forces that were in charge were all 9th transformation job experts. Master, the person you want to support, should be nearby. After transforming that person, Master can take the first step in his development. The little devil didn't appear in the body of the ancient wind god beast. This was not a suitable place. His aura was too strong. Once the aura of the wind god ancient beast spread out, all the experts in the Dong Lian continent would be able to sense it. For now, Lin Fei didn't want to expose himself. Being high profile was far less satisfying than being low-key. Tonight, Lin Fei was here to complete the first task of supporting the target, controlling and modifying the target. Lin Fei, who had an 8th rank physical body, could fly in the sky. In the forest, not far away, a few figures flashed by quickly. The person in front was in a sorry state, while the others behind surrounded him in a fan shape. Who devil man, you coward. Most of the tribe has been destroyed. Only a coward like you would choose to escape. A true expert of the tribe should turn back and fight to the bitter end. The people behind him mocked. Tui, you are really despicable and shameless, using such a method to deal with our tribe. As long as I, the Who Devil Man, escape, I will definitely destroy your tribe. The Who Devil Man turned around and said fiercely, Revenge? Don't even think about it. Your tribe's core strength has been destroyed. Do you think you still have a chance to make a comeback? The Who Devil Man was heavily injured. After being provoked by the other party, he vomited a large mouthful of blood and slowed down. The people behind him seized the opportunity and surrounded him, blocking his path. The Who Devil Man attacked 3 times but failed. He was forced to the front of a towering tree. Who Devilman, I bet you didn't expect such a day would come. The person was tall and had a long horn on his forehead. This was the most normal physique of a descendant of the desolate race. The Who Devilman's enemy was the Single Horn tribe. You want to kill me, the Who Devilman? It won't be that easy. I'll fight it out with you. The Who Devilman used the last bit of his strength to attack the tall man from the Single Horn tribe. Pung! Before the Who Devilman could reach him, the other party's head exploded without any warning. Blood and flesh splattered on the Who Devilman's body. His eyes were filled with doubt and fear. Pung, pung, pung. After a few more gunshots, the experts from the Single Horn tribe surrounding the Who Devilman all had their heads blown up. The surroundings turned silent, and the Who Devilman's breathing quickened. Who? As a rank 7 expert, the Who Devilman subconsciously revealed a look of fear. They were both rank 7 experts. The Who Devilman was at the early stages of the rank 7, while his opponent was at the late stages of the rank 7. On this night, he had been shot in the head, and the first thing he thought of was an energy gun. Ever since Tianji Hall's influence had spread, the tribes also knew of the existence of such a weapon. They also knew how terrifying such a weapon was. No matter how strong one was, they would be killed on the spot when surrounded by a large number of energy guns. The Who Devilman had always wanted to get his hands on such an energy gun, but unfortunately he did not have the wealth. In the Donglian continent, other than the top factions, it was already pretty good for an ordinary faction to have a basic energy gun. Boom! A violent aura pressed down. A hand had appeared out of thin air, and with a flick, the Who Devilman fell to the ground, losing all ability to resist. The Who Devilman saw another finger pointing at him, and he lost all consciousness. Who Devilman hee. Lin Fei appeared out of thin air, grabbed the Who Devilman, and left. He did not care about the other corpses on the ground. Before long, the corpses would be devoured by the desolate beasts. Donglian continent in a desolate place. This place was shrouded in poisonous fog all year round, and there was a rancid smell everywhere. However, at this moment, this place was covered in corpses. There were at least 200 to 300 of them. Little Devil, the tribe you chose is really special. To think that it would be like this. Look at this place, it's rotten to the core. Lin Fei grumbled. With a wave of his hand, flames blazed, and the corpses were burned into nothingness. In midair, the sound of the poisonous fog being burned could be heard. Lin Fei's rank 8 body directly ignored the poisonous fog, and he arrived at the end of this place, in front of a large, dilapidated building. Chapter 2534. The Demonic Poison Tribe. This was where Lin Fei had been. They had recently been ambushed by the neighboring tribe and had suffered heavy losses. Through the analysis of the little demon, Lin Fei had come here and saved the Who demons at the critical moment to reform them. In his view, only the reformed people were the most loyal. The Demonic Poison Tribe had suffered heavy losses, and there weren't many of them left. This was a good opportunity for Lin Fei to reform them and prevent news of this from leaking out. The remaining people would become the only people left in the Demonic Poison Tribe. Lin Fei had a reason to bring the Demonic Poison Tribe back into everyone's sights. Right now, the only thing Lin Fei needed to do was reform the remaining people. Before capturing the Who demons, Lin Fei had already captured the rest of the Demonic Poison Tribe. He couldn't just let the Who demons be a commander without an army. That would be too outrageous. This reform took about half a month. During that time, Lin Fei finished the reform. The Demonic Poison Tribe was left with 120 people. Under Lin Fei's meticulous reform, the remaining people were all strong and didn't seem to have any problems. They were truly people of the Demonic Poison Tribe, although there were only 120 people left. This wasn't a big problem for Lin Fei. Equipped with energy guns, energy shields, and flying devices, these 120 people would be able to display a powerful combat strength. Surrounding the neighboring One-Horn tribe wouldn't be a problem at all. No people. That was plunder. That was what Lin Fei was thinking. No matter how those major factions viewed this matter, they definitely wouldn't think that there was something wrong with these tribesmen. They believed that the Hu demons had the ability and methods to subdue the One-Horn tribe. 20 days after the reformed Hu demons led the 120 people to attack the One-Horn tribe on a moonless and windy night. The One-Horn tribe had been feeling very good recently. They had destroyed the neighboring demonic poison tribe. Although the Hu demons had escaped and they had lost a few experts, there were no longer any tribes that could threaten them. The tribe's defenses had become very lax, giving the Hu demons an opportunity. Equipped with powerful weapons, the Hu demons and tribesmen unleashed a barrage of attacks. Their powerful physical bodies were like tofu in front of the energy guns. As the bullets rained down, they left behind corpses. The Unicorn tribe's chief didn't have the ability to summon a spirit. Under the encirclement of the Hu devils, he didn't last long before he was killed. With the death of the chief, the people of the Unicorn tribe became even more uneasy. After a round of intimidation from the Hu devils, the people of the Unicorn tribe surrendered. Tribes would only obey the strongest tribe. This was most obvious in the ancient Desolation Great World. Thus, the Hu demons controlled the Unicorn tribe. There is indeed a huge gap between modern weapons and primitive force. As Lin Fei watched the entire battle unfold, he had to admit that the appearance of the energy gun had an absolute effect. In the face of such an attack, martial power seemed extremely weak. The first step is complete. I can start the second step now. The second step was naturally to help with the transformation. Lin Fei stayed for half a month and transformed the people of the Unicorn tribe. The number of people under the control of the Hu demons rapidly increased to 1,000. Lin Fei also spared no expense, equipping them with 1,000 sets of equipment. At the same time, he left behind 100,000 black crystal cards. In addition, he secretly set up a transmission array deep underground. After this round, Lin Fei's net worth had shrunk by about 20 to 30%. At the very least, he had created a tribe with a strong foundation. All that was left was time to develop. Only then did Lin Fei leave this place with peace of mind. What the Hu demons needed to do next was to continuously expand their territory. Controlling the energy wall stone mine would allow Lin Fei to earn a large number of black crystal cards. This process still required a certain amount of time. After leaving the Donglian continent, Lin Fei didn't return to the Capital Institute's base. Instead, he quietly went to the South Cloud continent. In the short span of 2 months since he had left, the biggest change was that the Avengers had become much more famous. It's time to hold the auction. Lin Fei opened the system and tapped on one of the locations in the South Cloud continent. After confirming the location, he waved his hand to release the people of the Summoning Legion. A dense mass of people quickly dispersed in all directions. Not long after, they disappeared completely. I believe that it won't be long before the entire South Cloud continent will know about the auction. The South Cloud continent was very big. Lin Fei had people to spread the news. It was only a matter of time before the news spread throughout the South Cloud continent. Let's get to work. On this night, on a nameless mountain peak in the South Cloud continent, the top was cut off by a sword. Behind it, a magnificent building appeared on the flattened mountain peak. The next morning, everywhere in the South Cloud continent, as long as it was a place with a lot of people, a shocking news spread out, making people unable to believe it was true. This news seemed to have spread overnight, making many people doubt whether it was fake or not. Have you heard? In the southeast of our South Cloud continent, a building has appeared. It is said that in 10 days, the auction of the Avengers will be held there. The Avengers? Could it be the Avengers who attacked the Bing family last time? I heard that there are many treasures being auctioned. Is it true? It seems to be true. They are also going to hold an auction. Aren't they going to compete with Tianji Hall? The news spread quickly. In less than a day, it had spread to all the big and small forces in the South Cloud continent. It didn't take long for the Bing family's matter to cool down. For the Avengers to hold an auction at this time was definitely a shocking matter. From the few words, everyone knew that the Avengers was a mysterious force. They had many treasures, the most famous of which was the Array Scroll. Even Tianji Hall had issued a wanted order. This also made everyone more curious about the Avengers. After all, the movement of the Bing family that day was obvious to everyone. The Avengers seems to have really held an auction. That place really exists. Someone saw that building. It seems to be the treasure made by Tianji Hall. It can't be. Rumor has it that 2 of Tianji Hall's treasures were snatched away by an expert from the Avengers. Now it seems like it's true. They actually dared to take it out. Isn't this slapping Tianji Hall's face? There's going to be a good show to watch. Our South Cloud continent is going to be lively. The wind is rising and the clouds are surging. The Avengers are holding an auction in the ancient desolation great world. All the major forces are going to move. Tianji Hall, who has always monopolized the treasures, will definitely not sit idly by. Chapter 2535. The news that the Avengers were going to hold an auction in the South Cloud continent swept across like a tornado. The Bing family. As soon as the news spread, the Bing family was once again discussed. The people of the Bing family were about to vomit blood. It wasn't easy to not mention this matter. Why did it have to be mentioned again? Bing Changhe was also the first to know about this matter. Due to the incompetence of the Bing family's patriarch, he retired early. The position of patriarch had been left vacant, and the heirs were all restricted from going out. For a long time, the position of patriarch of the Bing family would be left vacant for a while. While outsiders were discussing the auction held by the Avengers, Bing Changhe knew one thing better than anyone, and that was the treasures that the Avengers were going to auction. The first thing Bing Changhe did was to look for Bing Qingya. Recently, Bing Qingya was the most favored person. There was even a private rumor that the position of patriarch, which had been left vacant, might fall into Bing Qingya's hands. Qingya, what do you think of this matter? Bing Qingya was disappointed with those candidates. They almost made the Bing family disappear. Now, they were only allowed to stay in the Bing family, which was considered a light punishment. The Avengers are going to challenge the authority of Tianji Hall. Bing Qingya was very clear that the promotion of her position had a lot to do with Mu Yan, the Avengers behind her. I think Tianji Hall is bound to fight back. In a few days, our South Cloud continent will become another battlefield. Let's see if the Avengers can hold on. Based on my understanding of the Avengers, since they came out from the dark, this auction will definitely be held. It will be very difficult for Tianji Hall to stop them, especially in a place like the South Cloud continent. Their influence can only be average. The South Cloud continent was not the place where Tianji Hall had the greatest influence. This also determined that many forces in the South Cloud continent would not necessarily buy it, especially under the premise that Tianji Hall monopolized resources. With the appearance of a competitor, everyone hoped that the Avengers could suppress Tianji Hall and put on a good show. The standard of this auction will be very high. Our Bing family must get a place. I will leave this matter to you. We made a mistake last time, but we can't make the same mistake again. Bing Changhe said with emotion. Even now, he was still angry about what had happened last time. If it weren't for those blind people, would the Bing family have become a joke? After the incident, Bing Changhe naturally went to find out more about it. In fact, Tianji Hall's influence also played a role in this matter, which was also the cause of the incident. Bing Qingya was obviously happy. She knew clearly that this was a test from the Great Elder. Thank you, First Elder. Bing Qingya didn't say anything. After Bing Qingya left, a few people appeared in Bing Changhe. They were all people from the Elder Group. Changhe, do you think so highly of the Avengers? They can even take out 18 high-grade energy guns and those enhanced heavy cannons. They almost destroyed our Bing family. If we don't cherish this opportunity, our Bing family will really be completely eliminated. I believe that if the Avengers auction is successful, the situation of the entire ancient desolation world will change greatly. The South Cloud continent has found traces of the Avengers. They have announced that they will be holding an auction. They will be auctioning all kinds of treasures, array scrolls, beginner energy guns, intermediate energy guns, and high-grade energy guns. Imperial College Base. Zhang Lung listened to the spy's report and was completely moved. As an independent existence outside of the Empire, they were very concerned about the news of the Avengers. After all, they had caused too much of a commotion in the Empire. They had to pay attention to it. Immediately report to the higher-ups of the Imperial College and the Dean. Zhang Lung also realized the importance of this matter. The expedition to the Empire's royal family. They had also received the news. They had not expected the auction to be held in the ancient desolation world. The princes had received the news immediately. To them, the Avengers were a powerful existence that could go against Tianji Hall. Now they finally had the chance. Array scrolls, energy guns, and other things were all things that they needed. This time, the factions behind them had all started to move, gathering black crystal cards. No matter what, they could not miss this opportunity. After all, they were the ones with the most information. Demon God Empire. After Saintress-in-Waiting Qinlan had made another contribution. She had already become one of the 3 Saintress-in-Waiting within the Demon God Empire. She had quite a bit of authority. Qinlan, you have been in contact with the Avengers for a long time. Our Demon God Empire must have a spot in this auction, an elder said. Our Demon God Empire needs all kinds of treasures from the Avengers. Qinlan knew very well how she had gotten to where she was now. If not for the Avengers, she would still be a mediocre Saintress-in-Waiting. She would not have her current glory. I will definitely get a spot. Some of the tribes in the ancient wilderness Great World also started to take action. Because of what happened in the South Cloud continent, the news of the Avengers had spread, causing some tribes to become restless. Many of these tribes were wealthy and were not inferior to some of the major factions of the human race. They were completely qualified to participate in the auction. They all moved upon hearing the news and brought the experts of their tribes to the South Cloud continent. In an instant, the South Cloud continent attracted various factions. The headquarters of Tianji Hall was in a forest in a mountain range. Wild beasts gathered in the periphery, densely packed together. There were array formations protecting it, one ring after another, displaying the terrifying heritage of Tianji Hall. As the news spread to the real headquarters, the upper echelons of Tianji Hall were all enraged. They did not even look at them from the start. At this point, they had to admit that the Avengers had a lot of secret research results in their hands. Among them, the scrolls of array formations were the best proof. They had not even researched it, but the Avengers had researched it first. This was no different from giving them a slap in the face. They had even created a low-level array formation scroll through the scrolls. What a great Avengers! They're going against our Tianji Hall. In the secret chamber of Tianji Hall, 6 balls of energy fluctuated, forming the highest authority of Tianji Hall. They could decide the life and death of anyone in Tianji Hall. Boss, it's for the best that they have appeared. Let's just send people to eliminate them and take their results for ourselves. What else would they dare to say then? One of the balls of energy said sinisterly, if they dare to go against our Tianji Hall, we will directly defeat them. The news has already been confirmed. They used our Tianji Hall's treasure, Tianji Hall. This is clearly a slap in our face. The 6 balls of energy present, except for the last one, all expressed their opinions. They were all unanimous in taking action against the Avengers. Chapter 2536. In a remote place in the South Cloud continent, ever since the news spread, the previously unknown place had become a well-known place in the blink of an eye. See that? That's the place where the Avengers will hold their auction. The Avengers are really bold. They robbed their stuff and then took it out after a little modification. Aren't they afraid that the people from Tianji Hall will take it back? I admire the Avengers. If their treasures could be sold at a reasonable price, it would be great. We wouldn't have to worry about resources anymore. Almost all the nearby mountains were occupied by people. They were constantly paying attention to the movements of the Avengers, not far away. Ever since the news was confirmed, the number of spies in this place increased day by day. They were all keeping an eye on every move of the Avengers. However, ever since they arrived, the door of the secret hall had been tightly shut. It had not been opened at all. It seemed very quiet, facing unknown dangers. Those who were ready to make a move did not make a move. Who knew what kind of danger there would be? It was better to continue watching. Various forces quietly appeared. Seeing the treasures of Tianji Hall here, they were more or less surprised. No force had ever been so ostentatious, as if they wanted everyone to know the situation. The Qin family is here. I didn't expect them to come too. The treasures are really tempting. What's so strange about the Chun family? It's the Li family that's strange. The Li family is strong, but compared to the Lin family, there's a big gap. The people who wanted to join in the fun were really eye-opening this time. Many people from first-rate forces had come. It seemed that no one wanted to miss this opportunity. However, the Tianji Hall that everyone had been looking forward to had not appeared yet. Everyone knew that if the people from Tianji Hall came, there would definitely be a bloodbath. At that time, no one knew how many people would die. The first prince of the Demon God Empire is here. With a loud explosion, the entire world seemed to tremble. A golden chariot appeared on the horizon, extremely dazzling. There were actually 10 half-step ancient beasts pulling the chariot. The roars of the half-step ancient beasts shook the heavens and earth. The golden war chariot arrived and landed on a mountain peak. The people on the mountain peak immediately led their people away, not daring to stay any longer. Everyone knew what the first prince of the Demon God Empire was capable of. It really is a special treasure refined by Tianji Hall. A tall and sturdy young man stood on the golden war chariot. A boundless, baleful aura turned into a dark room. Occasionally, sharp sounds came from it, making people not dare to look at it. When the golden war chariot landed on the mountain peak, a team of black robes appeared in the air. There were over 100 of them, and they all exuded a killing aura. The moment they stood on the mountain peak, their killing intent towered up into the sky. It's indeed from Tianji Hall. Next to the golden war chariot stood a middle-aged man. He had a scholarly appearance, and his eyes flickered with intelligence. One look, and one would know that he was a schemer. We were right to come this time. This person was the first prince's trusted aide, and his name was Zhongji. At the same time, he also had another identity, and that was the military advisor. The first prince was the blood enemy, and it was due to Zhongji's efforts that he was able to reach his current position. Thus, the first prince had always treated this military advisor with great respect. "You'd better not disappoint me." The first prince's eyes were blazing. The first prince of the Demon God's Empire was the first to arrive, and he was the one with the strongest aura at the scene. The surroundings were empty, and no one dared to look for trouble. The first prince of the Empire expedition is here. The next day, another first prince arrived. It was the first prince of the Empire expedition, Fan Qingyuan. His aura was equally matched to that of the blood enemy. When the two first princes arrived, everyone's eyes lit up. It was enough to prove that the two empires attached great importance to the Avengers, which was why they were sent here. Fan Qingyuan set up camp on the mountain peak opposite the blood enemy, and he seemed to have the intention to go tit for tat. "Brother Fan, I didn't expect to see you here. What a surprise. I thought it would be those useless brothers of yours." The blood enemy laughed from afar. "Brother Blood, that's interesting." Fan Qingyuan was fair and clean, and he had a scholarly aura about him. He was calm and not as vicious as the blood enemy. Our Empire expedition is full of talents. I actually didn't want to come here. A mere Avengers is really not worth coming here. However, I can't disobey my father's order. Humph, putting on an act. You humans are all hypocrites. You obviously want to die, but when it's time to speak, you act like you don't care. It's not even as straightforward as our monster race. It's really boring. Blood enemy sneered. This is something passed down from us humans, and you demons can't learn it. Therefore, you demons have always been at a disadvantage and have never been able to take the most important step forward. As soon as the two arrived, they immediately confronted each other. They were just short of a big fight. Fortunately, the crown princes of the two empires did not go too far. Your Highness, this time the demon god empire has arranged for the blood enemy. This person is not like those princes who are stubborn and arrogant. He is your Highness's confidant and enemy. If they obtain the treasures of the Avengers, their reputation will reach a new height. Your Highness needs to make a decision soon. The confidant, who is also a military advisor, said solemnly. Fan Qingyuan nodded. The blood enemy has indeed become much stronger. No wonder those princes are no match for him. I will not lose. There are more and more people in this place. The appearance of the crown princes of the two empires caused quite a stir. It also made some human forces decide to come to this place. In the blink of an eye, 6 days had passed. Many forces from the South Cloud continent and even the neighboring continents had come. So far, the revenge chamber of commerce created by the Avengers had not made any movements. It had remained quiet, and it was getting more and more mysterious, until the morning of the 7th day. Everyone, look, there's movement. The door is open. Is it going to start? No, it's only the 7th day. Many people's eyes lit up. The closed door was finally opened. A mysterious man in black armor walked out and appeared in front of everyone. It's him, Mu Yan. The Bing family also came this time. The previous lesson did not make the Bing family retreat. This time the leader was Bing Qingya. She was as cold as before. After the other party came out, Bing Qingya immediately recognized him. Let me introduce myself. I am Mu Yan, a deacon of the Avengers. This time I will be in charge of everything for the auction held by the Avengers. I hope everyone can give me some pointers. Zhong Zhang's loud voice spread throughout the entire area. Many people were moved. The other party was not simple. Deacon. Chapter 2537. Everyone was very interested in the internal structure of the Avengers. If it was really as rumored, then Mu Yan had a lot of power. At the very least, it was impossible for him to have such a position in Tianji Hall. Mr. Mu Yan, we're not here to listen to your nonsense. We want to buy treasures and array scrolls. Tell me, how can we participate? Or can everyone participate in the auction? At this time on a mountain peak, a big black man roared, interrupting everyone's guesses. Everyone could come here. Who didn't want to participate in the auction? Just for the rumored array scrolls, it was very necessary. That was a good thing. It was loved by everyone, and it was good for self-defense and killing. Yes, we want to participate in the auction. We've worked hard to come here. If you don't let us participate, it'll be too unreasonable. We want to participate. Some people began to make a ruckus. This was the first auction held by the Avengers. Looking at the situation, everyone realized one thing, and that was how to participate. The big black man had an idea and directly laid out the matter. If Mu Yan didn't give an answer today, many forces would not agree. Although the Avengers had always been shrouded in a mysterious veil, there were many powerhouses present today. If they joined forces, even the Avengers might not be able to withstand their attacks. The big black man was very capable, and he easily stirred up everyone's emotions. Cheers and jeers could be heard everywhere. It seemed that if Mu Yan didn't give an answer, they would continue to make trouble. In the face of the crowd's uproar, many people secretly observed. They were happy that someone would test the other party. After all, there was no loss to them. In fact, they also wanted to know how the other party would solve this problem. If the other party couldn't handle this matter well, they didn't mind adding fuel to the fire or even doing it themselves. The auction in Tianji Hall had always been high-end. Therefore, those who could participate in the auction were almost all upper-class people and first-rate forces. The second-rate and third-rate forces in the next stage weren't so lucky. Even if they could buy some treasures, they wouldn't be able to afford it. Mu Yan naturally referred to Lin Fei. This situation was within his expectations. He wasn't surprised at all. "That is a good question," Lin Fei said with a smile. In everyone's eyes, it seemed that he wasn't angry about this matter. "Actually, even if you didn't say it, I would have made it clear to everyone, and I guarantee that everyone would be satisfied." This undoubtedly gave everyone a glimmer of hope. Tianji Hall had destroyed a lot of hope, and they really didn't want to see the Avengers disappointed again. Before answering everyone, I would like to ask everyone a question. Mu Yan said, "Do you know why we are called the Avengers?" Everyone was obviously taken aback. To be honest, this name was indeed very confusing. This name seemed out of place compared to the other names. One look and one could tell that it was filled with the meaning of revenge. However, compared to what they were doing now, it seemed to be too different from the word revenge. Was this the Avengers or the future Chamber of Commerce? Everyone was a little confused. Lin Fei didn't let everyone wait for too long. "In my previous life, the Avengers was actually a group of people united for revenge. They wanted to survive, to take revenge. Unfortunately, with their personal ability, which involved talent and ability, it was destined that revenge would be hopeless in this life. Since there was no hope, how could they talk about revenge? After they suffered a blow, they didn't resign themselves to fate. Instead, they became more courageous and finally embarked on a different path, which was the path of technology. The path of technology. When these 4 words came out, everyone was at a loss. There were only a few people present who could figure it out. Your Royal Highness, this Avenger seems to be far more terrifying than we imagined, and more ambitious. Perhaps this will be the beginning of a revolution." And Zhongji's eyes flashed, revealing a rare trace of solemnity. Enemy of Blood's comprehension ability was still a little poor. "Uncle, did you see it? If I'm not wrong, the Avengers will be promoting the treasures in their hands on a large scale. It can be said that almost everyone present can participate in the auction, and the price will be far cheaper than expected." And Zhongji was also greatly stimulated by his own guess. Because Tianji Hall had been monopolizing the market, it had always been in the top position. No one was willing to go against Tianji Hall. If they wanted to destroy you, it would be a piece of cake. But once the Avengers did so, Tianji Hall would fall from the clouds, and from then on, it would no longer have the deterrence of being high above. Their treasures would also become cheap goods. The 2 great empires, the Star Field and even the ancient region, would undergo huge changes because of this. Would they really dare to do that? Enemy of Blood's eyes flashed with a trace of shock. Would they really dare to do that? And Zhongji said with certainty, "Absolutely. I originally thought that the auction organized by the Avengers was a challenge to Tianji Hall, but now it seems that they don't even put Tianji Hall in their eyes. Big, really big." The significance of this matter was too great. Even in Zhongji's expression changed. "I was originally worried that the Avengers wouldn't be a match for Tianji Hall, but now it seems that the Avengers are a ferocious tiger. If they don't handle it well, Tianji Hall might still be the one to suffer a loss." And Zhongji said again, "Then the situation in the entire star field will undergo a huge change. It seems that even military strength will fall behind." No matter how slow Enemy of Blood was, he still reacted. Those present were all sly and cunning people. From the path of science and technology, they sensed something different and were all shocked. This was the result that Lin Fei wanted, and he continued speaking. The path of science and technology, to put it bluntly, is a path of technological weapons that overwhelms everything else. Martial strength might be important, but if you want to nurture an expert, it's difficult to ascend to the heavens. Not only does it require talent, but it also requires a long period of time. If something were to happen in between, it would be a waste of effort. Lin Fei raised his voice. The path of science and technology is completely different. For example, a beginner-level energy gun would be able to pose a threat to experts from the first transition to the third transition. Perhaps a single person's threat would be average, but a single person's power would not be that great. But what if there were 10 or 100 of them? And this is a beginner energy gun. These words instantly evoked everyone's memories, and even a trace of anticipation flashed in their eyes. It was too difficult to nurture an expert. Chapter 2538. Today, everyone present was dumbfounded. The path of science and technology, an unprecedented path, appeared in the ears of everyone present. Surprisingly, no one doubted it this time. They actually believed it. Everyone knew how powerful Tianji Hall was. One of the main reasons was that the technological weapons in Tianji Hall's hands did not require a lot of strength to control. This was equivalent to having a large number of experts, enough to stand above all the other forces. The path of science and technology is a benefit that the Avengers will bring to everyone. For this auction, we will not restrict everyone from participating. At the same time, we have prepared 2 methods for everyone. One is for the general public. The Chamber of Commerce will promote all kinds of treasures for everyone, as long as you have a certain amount of wealth. The good things that were originally in Tianji Hall's hands will become general goods in the Avengers' Chamber of Commerce. The other method is a premium auction. This requires people of a certain level to participate. For this reason, tomorrow we will set up an arena and send out 15 invitations. They will be qualified to participate in the premium auction. Lin Fei said with a smile. This last sentence was an exciting piece of news for everyone. Did I hear it wrong? Everyone can participate? That's great. Awesome. The Avengers are domineering. What everyone was most worried about was that the Avengers would be the same as Tianji Hall. This was really good news. Everyone believed Lin Fei's words. This trip was the right one. Based on the words of the Avengers, it was certain that it would not take long for the entire ancient desolation world to go crazy. Everyone realized that Tianji Hall was about to fall from the clouds. I didn't expect the Avengers to be so bold. And Zhongji could not help but let out a long sigh. He knew that he could not be as bold as the Avengers. He was very clear that as long as this technological weapon was popularized, the overall strength of all the forces would be greatly improved. Even the first prince of the demon god empire, Enemy of Blood, was in disbelief and could not come back to his senses for a long time. They are going to bring about a technological revolution. This was something that Enemy of Blood had never thought of when he came here. If it were any other ordinary force, there wouldn't be many who could do this. Yeah, it's a revolution. Let's see how Tianji Hall responds to it. And Zhongji said, Your Highness, this is your chance. We have to get one of the 15 invitation letters, no matter what. If we lose this chance, our demon god empire will be at a disadvantage. Enemy Blood Man exploded. Fan Qingyuan, who was not far away, had the same expression. He was exceptionally determined. As for snatching the invitation letter, he did not have the confidence to do so. The Avengers dared to openly carry out a revolution, so they were certainly not worried that others would come out to snatch it. Whoever came out to snatch, it was destined to end up very miserably. Send a message back immediately. Ask them to send more black crystal cards. Fan Qingyuan immediately made a decision. As the first prince, he was very clear about the flexibility. Your Excellency Mu Yan, our Tian family would like to have an invitation. I wonder if we are qualified to do so. Just when everyone was feeling excited, a sudden voice came from afar, sounding exceptionally domineering. Someone took a look and his expression changed drastically. The people from the Tian family are here. Haven't they been living in seclusion? How could they be willing to come out now? Tian family, could it be that Tian family? Why would they come to this place? A red cloud descended from the sky like the afterglow of the setting sun. In fact, this isn't the case. In fact, it's a treasure that can travel through space for a short distance. At the same time, this red cloud is also a representative proof of the Tian family. As long as a red cloud appears, it proves that the Tian family is here. The people from the Tian family are here. Looking at the red cloud in the sky, Bloody Enemy sneered. Their guts aren't small. Do they really think that they can handle the Avengers? Perhaps the Tian family will suffer a setback. And Zhongji agreed with Bloody Enemy's words. Your Highness is right. The Avengers have always been shrouded in mystery. Until now, some forces have arrived. However, most of them are just observing. The Tian family has always been overbearing. To want 1 out of 15 invitation letters, they really don't have the qualification. Instead, it's a good target to test. Tian family, a secluded family. In the outside empires, almost no one knew of the existence of the Tian family. However, in the ancient Desolation world, the Tian family is an ancient, secluded force. As for how long it has been passed down, only a few knew. Due to the long history of the Tian family, their foundation is unimaginable. As a result, the Tian family's actions in the ancient Desolation world are extremely arrogant and overbearing. There is also a rumor about the Tian family. It seems that the Tian family has a 9th transformation esper. Whether it's true or not, no one knows as it has been too long. The Tian family's overbearing attitude made everyone angry but dare not say anything. Anyone who becomes an enemy of the Tian family won't have a good ending. Thus, whenever the Tian family is mentioned, everyone's face would change. The appearance of the Tian family wasn't a surprise to everyone. In the ancient Desolation world, the Tian family's ambition is huge. They have a huge influence on the human race. In addition, they are the first force to enter the ancient Desolation world. In addition, they also have a good relationship with some big tribes. Regarding the invitation letters, this was decided by the higher-ups. There are a total of 15 invitation letters. I don't have the authority to take any of them out. You guys can only take them yourselves. Lin Fei said unhurriedly. Lin Fei naturally heard the discussions in his ears clearly. He knew the origins of these people. It seemed that they were the first batch of forces to enter the ancient Desolation world. Their influence was not small. In Lin Fei's eyes, this was nothing. He had a complete system, so resources and treasures were nothing. In that case, your Avengers Alliance doesn't give our Tian family any face. No one in the entire ancient Desolation world dares to not give us face, not even you guys. This time an elder from the Tian family came, Tian Haisha. 100 years ago, Tian Haisha was famous for his savagery. The number of experts who died in his hands was countless. Even now, remembering this savagery still made people's hearts tremble. You guys are indeed very bold. Our Tian family wants an invitation letter from you because we think highly of your Avengers Alliance. Even Tianji Hall wouldn't dare to not give us face. Tian Haisha stared at them with an ominous glint. Since you don't want to give it to us, then there's no need for your Avengers Alliance to exist. Tian Haisha indeed had his eyes on the Avengers Alliance's erase scrolls. The Tian family was a big family. If they could obtain the method to create the erase scrolls, that would be for the best. Do it! Chapter 2539. As soon as the Tian family appeared, they overbearingly demanded one of the 15 invitations from the Avengers. They only had the guts to ask for one of them. After all, the first batch of forces to enter wasn't just the Tian family alone. The attitude of the Avengers was that they didn't give the other party any face. Thus, the leader of the Tian family, Tian Haisha, ordered to besiege the other party. Such a good reason. In for a penny, in for a pound. In for a pound, in for a pound. Taking down the Avengers along with those unknown treasures would definitely be a big, fat piece of meat in everyone's eyes. As the Tian family made their move, everyone nearby was watching. In fact, everyone wanted to see how powerful the Avengers are. If it's as powerful as the rumors say, they don't mind joining in. Even the Tian family might not be able to stop everyone's attack. Facing such a situation, Lin Fei just coldly smiled. If I don't teach you all a lesson, you'll really think that the Tian family is so powerful. Lin Fei raised his hand and snapped his fingers. Heavy artillery attack! Lin Fei stood motionlessly in the sky. Behind him, the Heavenly Secrets Hall, which was now the Vengeance Alliance's Chamber of Commerce, had black cannons in several positions. The black muzzles of the cannons exuded a desolate aura as they stretched out from within. There was a total of 18 heavy cannons. Boom! Boom! As the first artillery was fired, the light beam that could destroy heaven and earth was so bright that it almost blinded everyone's eyes. It landed on that group of people from the Tian family. In front of this light beam, those strong espers of the Tian family were instantly submerged and turned into nothingness. When the 18 heavy artillery attacks combined, everyone witnessed an unprecedented, terrifying attack. This time, Tian Haisha brought a total of more than 20 people, and all of them were strong espers of the Tian family. However, under the attack of the heavy artillery, it became a one-sided massacre. What everyone is witnessing now is the latest product of our Avengers, the Death Heavy Artillery. It's specifically used to guard the door, just like this situation. Lin Fei smiled and introduced, "This heavy artillery will be auctioned in the boutique auction. Now, everyone can take a closer look. This is definitely a treasure of the family." On Tian Haisha's side, in the blink of an eye, everyone around him had been blasted into nothingness by the heavy cannons. Even Tian Haisha himself was forced to the point where he couldn't get any closer. This elder from the Tian family, how's the power of our Avengers? Lin Fei smiled at Tian Haisha, who was dodging not far away. Tian Haisha kept dodging, but he couldn't withstand the densely packed light beam attacks. Every beam flew past him, and he was surrounded by danger. Mu Yan, shut up. Tian Haisha did not expect the Avengers to be so extravagant as to deploy 18 heavy cannons at once. Their might was extraordinary, and even he, who was in the early stages of the 9th job transition, did not dare to face them head-on. From the very beginning, Tian Haisha didn't care about the Avengers. They were a sneaky force that couldn't even be shown in public. He didn't expect that when the battle started, their side would suffer heavy losses, and even he himself would be in danger. The spectating forces couldn't help but wipe off their cold sweat. The attack from the cannons had left them dumbfounded. Too scary. Heavy cannons, rumored to be a priceless weapon. Finally, I can see it with my own eyes. That Tian Haisha is a 9th stage professional esper, and yet he was forced to dodge by 18 heavy cannons. The Avengers are too amazing. At this moment, everyone was convinced. Those who harbored such thoughts immediately quieted down. 18 heavy cannons directly allowed the Avengers to display an unparalleled strength. The Tian family was amazing, right? To be crushed on the spot with only one man remaining. Tianji Hall might not have a chance anymore. On the peak of the Demon God Empire, and Zhongji shook his head. His eyes revealed horror. Fortunately, we didn't force ourselves to take action. The Tian family has always been arrogant and overbearing. This time they really kicked an iron plate and suffered heavy losses. Enemy blood secretly nodded. This is too mysterious. 18 heavy cannons, if there are 50, 80, or even 100 of them, then that would be too terrifying. Your Highness, the competition for this invitation letter has become even more intense. And Zhongji's original confidence began to waver. With the Avengers displaying such a powerful ability, everyone would pay more attention to them. That would prove that the path of technology isn't without reason. Such heavy cannons, our tribal alliance must get our hands on them. With them, we will be invincible when we attack the city. Somewhere further away, a group of young men from different races stood together. Each of them was a dragon among men, exuding a powerful and ferocious aura at the same time. This type of heavy cannon seems to be more perfect than the one in Tianji Hall. The interval between the two attacks isn't long. This is something that Tianji Hall's heavy cannon can't do. I really wonder what kind of genius the Avengers have to be able to solve this problem. A young man with a lion's head said, "This seat now believes in what Mu Yen said about the path of technology. No matter how strong one is, sometimes he can't block the attack of technological weapons. That Tian Haisha is famous for his bad temper, but there will be a day when he can't exert his full strength." A young man with a tiger's head said. These young men all revealed an excited expression. The attack of 18 heavy cannons is definitely enough to blind one's eyes. Those who are caught in it can definitely feel the aura of death. That Tian Haisha's current situation is extremely embarrassing. Mu Yen, you've killed our Tian family's disciple today. Our Tian family will remember this grudge. Tian Haisha realized that he had no chance today. The attack of 18 heavy cannons was extremely fierce, not giving him any chance at all. Under such circumstances, Tian Haisha could only give up. The Avengers aren't afraid of any enemies. If it's during normal times, you will definitely die. Consider yourself lucky today. Those people can be considered as the interest your Tian family has to pay. Lin Fei casually said. The heavy cannons behind him stopped, and the black hole gave off a terrifying aura of death. If you want to continue, the Avengers will accompany you to the end. Tian Haisha landed on a mountain far away. His resentful eyes kept staring at Mu Yen. I'll let you guys be smug for now. When the people from Tianji Hall arrive, don't even think about using these heavy cannons to display their might. After suffering such a huge loss, Tian Haisha naturally wasn't willing to leave. The Tian family had lost their face this time. It also shocked countless people. The scene of 18 heavy cannons firing at the same time was too spectacular. It was so spectacular that no one could forget the scene of light beams flying and reaping lives. At first, everyone was worried that the Avengers would face Tianji Hall. Now that they saw the Tian family in such a sorry state, everyone felt relieved. The Avengers are indeed fierce. Chapter 2540. The commotion in South Cloud Continent was the first to spread. The strength displayed by the Avengers completely shocked everyone. Regarding the path of science and technology, everyone agreed with it. The path of science and technology will have a certain impact on the future. However, from another perspective, the path of science and technology has given countless people an opportunity and a strong hope. For those with ordinary talent and potential, it is impossible for them to become a top esper. The path of science and technology has given them another path, a path to the peak. Ancient Desolation World is not lacking in wealthy people. When the big and small forces received the news, the first thing they did was to raise funds. No matter what the price is, they must buy those weapons at the auction. For example, those heavy weapons. The seventh day. The number of forces that appeared outside the Avengers' Chamber of Commerce increased once again. The Tian family failed to act wildly here and instead suffered heavy losses. This proves one thing. The strength of the Avengers far surpasses them. Those 18 heavy cannons became the best proof. If any force were to face such an attack, there can only be one ending, which is to be ruthlessly crushed without any ability to struggle. Ordinary forces wish to buy treasures from the Chamber of Commerce. As for those top forces, their goal is different. They lock onto the boutique auction because there are things they can't refuse. He's out. That Mu Yen is out. After experiencing yesterday's crushing, unknowingly, Lin Fei's alias Mu Yen has left a deep impression in the eyes of the people here. No one dares to look down on him. This is a character who can easily decide the life and death of others, who knows what trump cards he has. No one is willing to be this cannon fodder. Lin Fei once again appeared in front of everyone. I believe everyone is anxious from waiting. Today, I will talk to everyone about the 15 invitation cards. Lin Fei said with a smile, the competition for the invitation card is very simple. It will be given to the 15 strongest forces. Whoever can last the longest will get an invitation card. Your Excellency Muyen, are you talking about a fight between two forces? Fan Qingyuan asked. Yes, it's a fight between two forces, Lin Fei said. The premium grade auction is only open to the strongest powers. You have to defeat 10 powers. If you win, you will receive an invitation letter. You have to wait until all 15 invitations have been sent out. Although this method was a little unfair, no one had any objections. After announcing the competition method for the 15 invitations, Lin Fei announced another piece of news, which was the benefits for the ordinary forces. In the few days that the auction would be held, 10,000 slots would be sold every day. Each slot would be sold at the entrance fee of 10 black crystal cards. No one had any objections to the price. For a faction or even an individual in the ancient desolation great world, they would at least have 10 black crystal cards. No one resisted this method of entry at all. To them, this was simply a blessing. 10 black crystal cards in exchange for a chance to purchase a technological weapon. Where else could one find such a good opportunity? At the very least, Tianji Hall did not have such good benefits. Everyone was looking forward to large and medium-sized technological weapons. This is a smart move. Silently, he managed to get 100,000 black crystal cards in one day. In just a few days, he managed to get several 100,000 black crystal cards. It is equivalent to a small mineral vein. And Zhongji sighed. It's rare for no one to resist this kind of business. This is even better than Tianji Hall at doing business. Enemy of Blood had to admit that he was looking forward to what Lin Huang had just said. For the competition for the invitation, I might have to personally make a trip and obtain an invitation first. Enemy Blood's eyes flashed as his fighting spirit surged. Let's strike first before anything else happens. 15 invitations might seem like a lot, but in the ancient desolation great world, it really isn't much. Fortunately, it will take some time for the news to spread throughout the ancient desolation great world. Some forces will not believe it for a while, so this is our chance. And Zhongji analyzed. Your Highness, if you can accomplish this, it will be a great merit. Those people will no longer be qualified to compete with you. The major forces were all whispering to each other. They realized that they had made the right decision to come and had an advantage over others. Before deciding on the 15 invitations, I've decided to give everyone another benefit. Thank you all for coming to support us. To us, the Avengers, everyone who comes to support us is our guest. So, I've decided to take out 30 technological weapons and give them to everyone for free. Whoosh! There was an uproar at the scene. Giving away technological weapons? This benefit was too good. They were still immersed in the previous wave of benefits and constantly fantasizing about it. Now that there was another wave, they could not believe that it was real. This is the first beginner energy gun that we, the Avengers, have developed. Lin Fei took out a black beginner energy gun. Its appearance did not change much, but some of the details had changed, which made everyone's eyes light up. We have named this beginner energy gun Avenger number 1. After equipping it with an energy card, it can be fired 100 times in a row. When the energy card is depleted, you can replace it with a new one. It is a must-have item for you when you go out. As for its power, Avenger number 1 can deal different amounts of damage to first to third job professionals. Lin Fei picked up Avenger No. 1 and demonstrated it to everyone. He aimed it at the sky and fired a volley of bullets. Everyone's eyes widened as they watched. It's too strong. Is this a technological weapon? It's more than 10 times stronger than the beginner energy gun in Tianji Hall. The beginner energy gun in Tianji Hall is nothing. It can only be used 50 times at most and is very troublesome to replace. It is far less labor-saving than the one in Tianji Hall. It is really a must-have item for you when you go out. The appearance of Avenger number 1 gave everyone a huge temptation. All right, 30 Avenger number 1 guns, each with an energy card. I will randomly drop them, and anyone can snatch them. However, everyone must remember not to overdo it. If someone gets hurt, I don't mind using heavy artillery. Lin Fei's words dispelled the thoughts of those people. The power of the 18 heavy artillery had left a lingering fear in their hearts. Even if they managed to snatch one, they might not have the time to leave. No one dared to test the true power of the heavy artillery. I'll start throwing now. 30 Avenger number 1 beginner energy. Guns were not a lot of money to Lin Fei. It was the best thing to use for publicity. Chapter 2541. Everyone was extremely excited. Here. Over here. Quick, over here. Throw it over here. The first Avenger headed in one of those directions. It's mine, don't fight with me. I'll kill whoever tries to snatch it. Figures passed through the void and reached out to snatch the Avenger number 1. It was not that they had never seen such a scene before, but it was different when hundreds or even thousands of people fought over it. Furthermore, it was a priceless treasure. At this moment, everyone forgot their status. All they could see was the Avenger number 1. If it was sold in Tianji Hall, it would cost at least a few hundred black crystal cards. As for the ones sold in the Empire, they were all defective products. Naturally, they were cheap, but people still fought over them. A battle began. Beams of resplendent light exploded in the sky. Terrifying auras came one after another. Famous people could not help but take action. It's mine, ha ha ha. A fierce-looking, middle-aged man used poison techniques. Anyone who was hit by him was poisoned and died on the spot. In the end, he snatched the Avenger number 1 elementary energy gun and laughed loudly. He completely ignored Lin Fei's words, as if he didn't care at all. I'm taking it, ha ha ha. The poison expert roared and split into dozens of doppelgangers. One by one, they fled in all directions, making it difficult to tell which one was real and which was fake. Ha ha ha. The Avengers are nothing more than this. The other party's voice came from all directions, reverberating between heaven and earth. I didn't expect Poison Demon to come as well. This is his special skill. Every clone is separated from his body, and they all have the same aura. With this move, Poison Demon has escaped time and time again. Could it be that he will succeed again today? Someone immediately revealed the man's origins. Many people's faces changed. In the ancient Desolation Great World, there was only one nickname, Poison Demon. There were no others. Anyone who had anything to do with the word poison would be killed by the Poison Demon. It could be said to be extremely cruel. This secret technique for escaping became Poison Demon's greatest reliance. Unless one could kill all the doppelgangers in the shortest time possible, leaving none behind. As long as one escaped, the other party would survive. Clone, how dare you bring out such a childish thing to show your incompetence? Lin Fei smirked and raised the cannon behind him. Before anyone could think about what to do, he fired in a certain direction. The beam of light brought with it a destructive aura as it tore through space and accurately landed on one of the clones in the sky. Ah! After a miserable shriek, the infamous Poison Demon was annihilated by the beam of light with an expression of unwillingness. The escaping clones automatically exploded. After a series of explosions, everything returned to normal. I advise those who have ulterior motives not to challenge my patience. The Avengers have many treasures and secret techniques to deal with you. If you are willing to end up like Poison Demon, then go ahead. I don't mind learning from you. Lin Fei's voice was not loud, but it was like a hammer that heavily fell on everyone's hearts, and it did not stop for a long time. Poison Demon is really dead. This is too, that is the Poison Demon that has dominated for decades. The Avengers are indeed terrifying. How did they know that it was the real body? Back then, even a ninth transformation professional was helpless against it. After the shock, everyone became well behaved. No one was interested in repeating what happened to Poison Demon, nor did they have the guts to challenge him. The precision of the heavy cannon was clearly different from the previous attacks. Many people's eyes lit up. Perhaps there was a deeper use for this heavy weapon. Now, let's start with the second Avenger. Things went much smoother after that. No one dared to challenge the authority of the Avengers anymore. Everyone basically stopped when the time was right, all the way until the elementary energy gun of Avenger number 1 was used. Those who did not manage to snatch it were unhappy with a trace of unwillingness. Those who managed to snatch it, or even those who belonged to a certain force, were all beaming with joy. Everyone was overjoyed at this small benefit, especially those who could not wait to use it. After verifying its power, they all clapped and cheered. This was indeed a must-have item when going out. Next, let's start the fight for the invitation. After the benefit was over, Lin Fei began the arena battle for the invitation. Lin Fei was not worried at all that there would be no participants. He had put in all his effort, and he could finally enjoy the show. No one could resist the temptation, unless they did not want to improve their strength to the next level. The first invitation, the Demon God Empire will be taking it. A figure soared into the air and landed on the arena with his hands behind his back. Behind him, a murderous aura soared into the sky. Dark clouds shrouded the arena, and the atmosphere changed drastically. Enemy of the Bloody Man accepts everyone's challenge. The factions that were still considering their options did not expect the Demon God Empire to be so quick. They were the first to ascend the ring and accept the challenges from the crowd. For the sake of fairness, a special array has been set up in this arena. One of the participants will be the base to suppress the other's strength. To put it simply, the arena will suppress the strength of the enemy of the Bloody Man according to his strength. This will ensure that they are at the same realm and strength. This is truly a fair challenge. As soon as Lin Fei finished his words, the faces of those who were prepared darkened. This was not good news. With the same cultivation realm and strength, it would not be easy to deal with them. The Demon God Empire's influence in the ancient Desolation Grand World was not low. However, it did not mean that everyone would give up one of the invitation letters. Not long later, someone went onto the arena. It was a rogue cultivator from the human race. Rogue cultivator, White Jade Fox. The newcomer wore a white robe and held a folding fan in his hand. He was elegant and handsome like a prince. Enemy of the Bloody Man. I heard that you are one of the successors of the Demon God Empire. I wonder how it would feel to kill you. White Jade Fox laughed heartily and pushed his folding fan forward. When the fan opened, it looked like a scholarly scene. A red mist rose from the arena, and peerless beauties emerged from the mist. They danced gracefully, and the sound of zither music could be heard. Enemy of the Bloody Man suddenly closed his eyes. How dare you use illusions? With a soft roar, the endless murderous aura behind Enemy of the Bloody Man turned into an army that charged forward. The beauties and the zither were instantly destroyed. You can go down now. Enemy of the Bloody Man grabbed the air and condensed his murderous aura into a saber. With a single slash, White Jade Fox's folding fan was sliced in half. His eyes widened as a line of blood appeared on his forehead, and he fell to the ground. Chapter 2542. Enemy of the Bloody Man from the Demon God Empire. His name is domineering, and his strength is unbelievably strong. His physical body has also reached the early rank 8. If there are no surprises, the first invitation letter will be from Enemy of the Bloody Man. It was because Lin Fei had set up a restriction on the arena that could suppress the challenger's strength. Although it seemed fair, it was not. The Enemy of Blood's early phase of rank 8 physical body had the upper hand, and he defeated his opponents one by one. This was already the 9th match. Only the last match was left to win. Master, this is a good move. With 15 invitations, the influence of the Avengers will be able to affect the entire ancient desolation world. By then, Master's items will be selling like hotcakes. The little fiend chuckled. Selling like hotcakes is for sure. To earn more energy wall stones, the ancient desolation world will be in chaos. My technological weapons will be the source. I don't have to worry about them not buying. It's just that the people from Tianji Hall are not here yet. God knows what they're doing. They're too slow. Will they be here on the 10th day? Lin Fei had earned hundreds of thousands of black crystal cards from the Inferno tribe. He could be considered a small windfall. He had set up a large number of cannons around him. He had used 18 cannons to deal with the Sky Killers. That was just an appetizer. I really hope they come earlier. I have prepared a feast for them. Enemy of Blood met a strong opponent in the last match. His opponent had suppressed his strength, but he was still a veteran expert. Even so, he had the upper hand. In this battle, Enemy of Bloody Man used a secret technique of the Demon God Empire and paid a heavy price to defeat his opponent and obtain the first invitation letter. I have long heard that the Crown Prince of the Demon God Empire is very strong. With his strength, he has obtained the first invitation. Everyone is convinced. Lin Fei smiled and said to Enemy of Blood. Enemy of Blood was injured and did not care. Thank you, Sir Mu Yen, for setting up the formation. Enemy of Blood was very grateful for this. None of the veteran experts were easy to deal with. Congratulations, you got the first invitation. Lin Fei gave the first invitation card to Enemy of Blood Man. This invitation card was meticulously crafted and was of a high class. Enemy of Blood did not speak much. He took the invitation and left. The first invitation was over. With Enemy of Bloody Man as the start, everyone started to pay more attention, especially Enemy of Bloody Man of the Demon God Empire, especially the last secret skill, which had defeated a veteran expert. Although he had suppressed his strength, it was still a great strength. When the fight for the invitation letter was very fierce, the people at Tianji Hall also received a message. 18 heavy cannons, and the Sky Sea Killer returned empty-handed. This time, the leader of the team was the 5th elder of the punishment department from Tianji Hall. One could tell from the number of words that this elder had a very high status. In fact, the position of the 5th disciplinary elder was indeed very high. To be able to sit in this position, one had to be at least in the 9th stage profession realm. This person was in the middle of the 9th stage. This time, Tianji Hall attached great importance to the Avengers and dispatched the 10th Law Enforcement Team. The ancient desolation great world was their Tianji Hall's territory. If they allowed the Avengers to continue and fight in the end, that was not a situation they wanted to see. A scout was reporting the news. The influence of Tianji Hall spread throughout the ancient desolation great world. They did not underestimate the Avengers and immediately sent scouts to gather information. The news of the 18 heavy cannons surprised the 5th elder of the punishment department, Shenmu. He frowned and said, "We underestimated the Avengers." Elder Shin, the 18 heavy cannons are worthy of our attention. As long as they have sufficient energy, we will have to pay a hefty price. A confidant said. Shinmu was very clear about the deterrence brought by the 18 heavy cannons. If they were not careful, the law enforcement team they brought would suffer heavy losses. They have 18 heavy cannons. Don't forget the foundation of our Tianji Hall. Fortunately, when Elder Ben came out, he brought a treasure of our Tianji Hall, which happened to render their 18 heavy cannons useless. The confidant at the side revealed a look of joy. Is it that treasure? If it is, then the 18 heavy cannons will not be a threat to us. Shinmu smiled and nodded. The Avengers want to step on our Tianji Hall to rise. They are lacking. Even this elder only knows a small portion of Tianji Hall's foundation. They dare to make an enemy of Tianji Hall. As the first invitation letter appeared, the competition for the following invitations became intense. Following that, the competition for the invitation letters became more intense. The first invitation letter was from enemy of bloody man of the demon god empire. The second invitation letter was from Fan Qingyuan of the expedition empire. The first prince also displayed his terrifying strength. Relying on his treasures and secret skills, he persisted until the end and obtained an invitation letter. The third, fourth, and fifth invitation letters landed in the hands of the first-rate and peak forces. The sixth invitation letter landed in the hands of a wandering cultivator. This wandering cultivator was a ninth-stage professional expert. His physical body had actually reached the rare late stage of the 8th rank. His physical body was almost invincible, and he successfully obtained an invitation letter. On that day, a total of 9 invitation letters were issued. During this period, some forces were chased down and fought with each other. Lin Fei's side was very relaxed. Everything was developing according to plan. No one came out to cause trouble. With the Tian family as an example, those who wished to come would have to think twice. On the last day, the people from Tianji Hall will definitely come. Lin Fei was looking forward to tomorrow. Every time Zhang Xian killed someone from the Hall of Secrets, he would obtain some treasures. After the battle, the system would modify the treasures into something completely new. Regardless of whether it was in terms of grade or might, the treasures of the Hall of Secrets were far superior to those of the Hall of Secrets. The Avengers' Humph. On a mountain not far away, a group of people occupied it. This group of people had a very big background, the Tian family. That day, Tian Haisha didn't get killed. Instead, he informed the people from the Tian family. Especially after witnessing the power of the heavy cannons, he was completely obsessed with it. Today, the people from the Tian family came, and they were all experts. The Tian family was the first batch of people to enter the ancient desolation world. Until now, no one knew how strong they were. However, what they revealed on the surface was just the tip of the iceberg. In the ancient desolation world, the Tian family had always been known as an ancient family. To be able to be called an ancient family. Until now, there weren't many of them. A batch of elites from the Tian family had been killed here. Tian Haisha himself had almost fallen. After a round of exaggeration, the experts from the Tian family came. Seeing that the leader was someone from his faction, Tian Haisha revealed a look of joy. The moment he went up, he complained, "Elder Yong, you came at the right time. The Avengers really don't treat us as anything." Tian Haisha had held this grudge for a long time. That embarrassing look on that day, he would never forget it for the rest of his life. Chapter 2543. Another group of people from the Tian family arrived, causing quite a commotion. That's Tian Xianyong, one of the best among the side branches, a super strong esper in the middle stage of 9th stage profession. Rumor has it that this Tian Xianyong has the chance to enter the Tian family's elder group in the future. The Tian family's elder group isn't a small matter. I didn't expect him to come. Let's see if this Tian Xianyong dares to make a move. 18 heavy cannons with extraordinary power. Even if he goes up there, it's probably useless. I'm more optimistic about Revenge Chamber of Commerce. As a member of an ancient family, the influence of the Tian family isn't to be doubted. Even now, the brand of the Tian family is still very popular in the ancient desolation world. Unless it's a top force or an ancient family of the same level, the rest would have to give them face. Tian Haisha was ready to cry the moment he came up. But with a look from Tian Xianyong, Tian Haisha didn't dare to open his mouth. Within the Tian family, one's status determines everything. You stand by the side and watch. Tian Xianyong's eyes were like electricity as he looked at the stage. Because of your recklessness, our Tian family might lose a chance to grow stronger. Tian Haisha said unwillingly, but I'm doing this for the good of the family. What's there for us to care about the Avengers? In front of our Tian family, they're nothing. As a member of an ancient family, Tian Haisha indeed didn't put the Avengers in his eyes. Shut up. Tian Xianyong's eyes flashed coldly. When this matter is settled, the family will naturally punish you. Tian Haisha's eyes revealed fear. The 10th invitation, our Tian family wants it. A young man beside Tian Xianyong revealed a cold light in his eyes. With a step forward, he came to the stage and welcomed everyone. Your Excellency Mu Yan, our Tian family participating in this competition shouldn't be against the rules, right? The young man said in a certain direction. Lin Fei had been watching. In fact, it's a deterrent. As long as he's here, these people wouldn't dare to act recklessly. The only thing he didn't expect was that the Tian family has such a smart man. An ancient family is indeed an ancient family. The first person they send is a 9th stage profession Esper. I thought I could take this opportunity to leave a deep impression on everyone. Lin Fei did have this thought, but now it seemed impossible. Lin Fei had just obtained the information about the ancient family from Tianji Hall. Tianji Hall's spy was naturally Zhang Ao, and he had all the information he wanted. In the eyes of Tianji Hall, many secrets of the ancient desolation world might be secrets in the eyes of others, but they were nothing to them. Lin Fei knew some of the secrets of the ancient families. In the past, they were the first to enter this world. After a long period of development, excluding those who were eliminated, there were only 8 ancient families left. The Tian family was one of them, and their overall strength could reach the upper middle. Our Avengers is just a business organization. As long as it is within the rules, we will never stop it, unless you are willing to break the rules. Lin Fei was embarrassed to stop it. These ancient families were all rich people. Lin Fei naturally would not miss this opportunity. Technological weapons covering the entire ancient desolation great world was what he wanted to see the most. The competition for the 10th invitation letter was more intense than expected. The moment this young man from the Tian family came up, he displayed a terrifying strength. A rogue cultivator, who was also an 8th stage professional, was directly killed by the opponent with a single slash. That's right, a single slash. There were still people who were unconvinced. 5 people came up one after another, and they were all killed with a single slash. In the end, no one dared to go up. The 10th invitation letter was directly taken by the Tian family. This Avengers is quite interesting. Tian Xianyong thoughtfully looked at Mu Yan and the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce on the mountain peak. Tian Haisha couldn't understand why Tian Xianyong would participate in the auction. You must be wondering why our Tian family doesn't take revenge on them. Tian Xianyong revealed a trace of contempt. You only know how to kill people. That's the stupidest thing. With the appearance of the Avengers, even if they rise, it's still Tianji Hall's matter. Even Tianji Hall didn't make a move. So why should our Tian family do it? Such a thankless task. Our Tian family won't do it. The 11th invitation letter. Our Gu family will be taking it. With a loud bang, a giant descended from the sky and landed on the stage, causing the entire stage to shake slightly. That giant then stood up. Gu family, Gu Ju! The scene was in an uproar again. I didn't expect the Gu family to be here too. Tian Xianyong's face flashed a trace of vigilance. They are also eyeing the treasure of the Avengers and believed in the other party's path of technology. On the way here, Tian Xianyong had learned about the Avengers and even knew about the path of technology. To be able to become an ancient family, one wasn't blindly tyrannical, especially when facing a mysterious force like the Avengers. There weren't many forces present who knew about the power of the ancient families. Only a few of them knew about it. Although they didn't travel around the world, their influence has always existed. This time, the competition will be quite intense. Even these ancient families have shown up. And Zhongji flashed a trace of worry. Your Highness, we have to get them to send a portion of the black crystal cards over. They are all veteran existences. It might not be easy to snatch a piece of meat from their mouths. Xue Rendi's face was also solemn. This emperor has always thought that, in the ancient desolation world, I am also a proud son of heaven. However, compared to them, there is still a gap. This Guju is even more terrifying than the previous one. However, the stronger they are, the more fighting spirit this emperor has. Tian family, Gu family, they can't help but show up. Lin Fei knew that among the 8 ancient families, the Tian family and Gu family were equally matched. At the same time, they were enemies. To be able to attract these 2 ancient families was more or less a pleasant surprise. As long as they behaved themselves, Lin Fei didn't mind letting them have a taste of sweetness. To promote technological weapons, the stronger the force, the better. They were the real buyers. Just by the words ancient family, they revealed the domineering aura of a nouveau riche. Of the 15 invitation cards, Lin Fei really didn't have any requirements for who would take them. A total of 2 ancient families came out, not all 8 ancient families. Thinking about it, to be able to let 2 ancient families come out was already a very good thing. By the end of the day, 4 invitations had been sold. One could imagine that the competition on the last day would be very intense. No one was willing to miss it. As the news spread, counting the distance, basically everyone was coming. That night, a person came looking for him. Bing Qingya. Chapter 2544. The old acquaintance was naturally Bing Qingya. I didn't expect you to come looking for me. Lin Fei was very clear about the purpose of the other party's visit. In just a few days, the Avengers had shown their terrifying potential. No one wanted to miss this rare auction. The explanation of the path of science and technology was also recognized by countless people. A new technological revolution was about to begin. Bing Qingya also saw it clearly. At first, she was ready to fight for an invitation, but later gave up on this idea. After all, the participants might not be able to hold on for long. Congratulations, Your Excellency Mu Yan. The auction hasn't even started yet, and it's already popular. Bing Qingya no longer dared to have any temper. The Tian family had killed a group of people, and even Tian Xianyong didn't dare to make a move. Even if the other party had a conspiracy to prevent the Tian family from making a move on the spot, how many people could do that? Lin Fei laughed. The auction's popularity is all thanks to you guys. Without your support, the auction would be nothing more than a farce. The formation of the path of science and technology still depends on you guys. It was hard for Bing Qingya to imagine that the Mu Yan tonight and the Mu Yan from that day were completely different. One was gentle while the other was cruel, as if they were 2 extremes. Our Bing family wants an invitation. I wonder if it's possible. Bing Qingya hesitated for a moment before taking out the card. After that incident, she was more or less a little worried. No. Lin Fei shook his head. Bing Qingya's heart sank. The worst thing that could happen had happened. 15 invitations, I can't have one more. That would be hard to explain to everyone. In principle, our Avengers intends to be fair and just and become a brand new symbol of the ancient desolation world. Bing Qingya had been worried about this problem since the beginning. 15 invitations, any one of them was very precious. Those who obtained it would never allow others to participate in it through other means. Bing Qingya smiled bitterly. I knew it would be like this. Lin Fei didn't want to open the back door. It wasn't easy to create a mysterious force, and he couldn't change it just because of one person. However, if you want something, you can buy it from me. I will give you a discounted price, provided that you can take out the money. I don't want what happened last time to happen again. If it was someone else from the Bing family, Lin Fei would have chased them out without hesitation. However, Bing Qingya was different. She had a slight advantage. Moreover, the ancient beast pellet and the wind god ancient beast were obtained through Bing Qingya. This was a favor. Others might not admit it, but Lin Fei was different. Bing Qingya finally showed a happy expression. Thank you, Sir Mu Yan. Since he couldn't participate in the auction, it was a good thing that he could trade in private. After receiving the news, Bing Qingya couldn't sit still anymore. She had to report to the head elder and prepare for the next transaction. This time, there couldn't be any accidents. Master, do you have a good impression of this Bing Qingya? The little devil flew out from the void. After entering the ancient beast realm, the wind god ancient beast's body could be big or small. After the system's blessing, it could perfectly seal its aura. Even the warriors from the ancient families wouldn't be able to detect it. Don't you think this is interesting? Lin Fei raised the corner of his mouth, revealing an evil smile. Actually, Bing Qingya didn't have to come. Since she came, it means that she won't have a good time in the Bing family. Supporting her is also an interesting thing. The little devil rolled his eyes. Master, you really have nothing better to do. Ha ha ha. Lin Fei couldn't help but laugh. Master, the special creatures we released have found something. The people from Tianji Hall have entered the southern cloud continent. They have been hiding in a place. They might be plotting something. The little devil changed the topic. They are plotting something. Lin Fei didn't believe that Tianji Hall would sit down and rest. They're moving. These guys are actually planning a night attack. The little devil was a little angry. They really know how to play tricks. Lin Fei opened the system and saw a group of people sneaking in his direction. This should be a special equipment. It isolates all aura. If we don't monitor it first, we might really be attacked at night. Looking at the group of people on the screen, Lin Fei laughed. Master, how do you plan to play with them? The little devil said with an evil smile. It's too boring to kill them just like that. Why don't we close the door and beat the dog? When they are the happiest, we can knock them down from the clouds. It should be very interesting. Lin Fei thought of an idea. Let's see what good stuff Tianji Hall has. The Chamber of Commerce is worried that there isn't anything good to auction. In the night, a group of people quietly approached the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. No matter how powerful that Mu Yan is, he definitely won't be able to guess that we will attack at night. Tianji Hall isn't as bad as they think it is. It's stupid to be straightforward. Shen Mu and his group moved very quickly. They were all in the same area, surrounded by a layer of mysterious power. They were obviously moving, but if you were in front of them, you wouldn't be able to see them at all. This was the effect of one of the treasures in Tianji Hall. Although it wasn't very expensive, it was rare. Shinmu really didn't believe that the other side would know about his situation. Since entering South Cloud Continent, he had concealed his tracks and relied on spies to analyze the news. Shen Mu's side was clear about the situation with Mu Yan. Why did they make a move on this night? In fact, they also calculated that the other side wouldn't think that Tianji Hall would make a move. In the eyes of ordinary people, the attack would definitely be on the last day. Tianji Hall used this traditional concept to make a move one night in advance, catching them off guard. Especially with the appearance of the two ancient families, Shinmu felt a trace of pressure. Shinmu knew about the explanation of the path of technology. As a member of Tianji Hall, he could see the ambition behind the path of technology. It was to change the structure of the ancient desolation world. It was to lead a new trend. This was definitely not what Tianji Hall wanted to see. Openness and monopoly were two extremes. No matter what, we must capture that Mu Yan alive tonight and interrogate him about the situation of the Avengers. It would be best if we can dig out their lair and get rid of the Avengers once and for all. Shan Mu had quite a bit of resentment towards the Avengers. Ever since they appeared, Tianji Hall hadn't had a single moment of peace, especially since the technology that they possessed was above theirs. A brightly lit building appeared on the horizon. The entire process didn't take long. This time, the law enforcement team that they brought were all well equipped, and their speed was naturally not slow. On the surrounding mountain peaks, no one knew that they had arrived. This was the magical aspect of the treasures. How dare they snatch two of our Tianji Hall chambers of commerce, and still dare to take them out openly? How arrogant! Shinmu looked at the chambers of commerce, and his eyes were almost spewing fire. That's good too. If they didn't use Tianji Hall as a chambers of commerce, how could they sneak in? The treasures of Tianji Hall all had back doors. It was the same for this huge building. Chapter 2545. Shen Mu thought that this time he would definitely be able to defeat them. The last thing you all should do is to bring out the item from Tianji Hall to show off. Don't you know that there is such a thing called a back door in this world? If it was something else, Shenmu might not have such confidence. However, this time it's different. The 18 heavy cannons didn't appear. They should be hidden in Tianji Hall. If so, it's even better. The 18 heavy cannons indeed gave Shenmu a sense of oppression. Even if he brought the treasure from Tianji Hall, he would have to pay a huge price. There's no need to face it head-on. Now the situation is perfect. Let me try and see if this back door works or not. Shen Mu faced Tianji Hall and formed a series of hand seals. Each hand seal was very complicated, and only someone with his position would know how to do it. Kacha! At one of the inconspicuous corners of Tianji Hall, as the hand seals entered, a door popped open. It wasn't too big or small, just enough for one person to pass through. No one would notice anything strange about that place. Let's go in. Shenmu smiled again. The group of people entered the Heavenly Secrets hall one by one, truly achieving a situation where no one made a sound. As soon as they left, 2 men appeared in midair. They were none other than Tian Xianyong and Tian Haisha. The older the ginger, the spicier. The Avengers thought that by robbing Tianji Hall, it would belong to them. Now, it has become a sharp weapon in their hands. Tian Xianyong laughed. Tianji Hall really has a lot of means. If not for our Tian family having treasures, I really don't know if they would come here or in such a situation. Tian Haisha was quite surprised. Brother Yong is still the best. Let them fight to the death first, and we will be the fisherman who reaps the benefits. Tian Xianyong enjoyed this little bootlicking. Haisha, fighting and killing, that's a thing of the past. Unless your strength reaches a terrifying level and is truly invincible, any scheme is nothing but a paper tiger. I hope you remember this point. Tian Haisha was completely convinced. Compared to him yelling and screaming, having everything under his control was the most satisfying thing to do. I will remember. Now we just have to wait. Tian Xianyong sat down cross-legged. Aren't we going to take this chance to go in? Tian Haisha asked doubtfully. Why do we have to go in? The outcome has not been decided yet. If we go in, it might not be a good thing. We might offend both sides. No matter what the outcome is, either Tianji Hall wins or both sides suffer. At that time, we can make our move. It's still the same. Not much has changed. It seems that the Avengers are nothing special. Shenmu led his men into Tianji Hall. Unlike what he had imagined, the interior was completely empty. Not even a single guard could be seen. Elder Shin, why isn't there anyone inside? Could it be that we've been fooled? The confidant asked anxiously. The surroundings were too quiet. It's all right. Shenmu did not think much of it. What happened next was simple. Let's split up now. You will lead the team to take control of Tianji Hall's hub. The other team go and search for the 18 cannons. We must control them. Shenmu was talented. After confirming that there was no danger, he immediately arranged the tasks, and everyone went in different directions in an orderly manner. Soon, there were only 2 or 3 people left beside Shenmu. Let this elder take a look at that mysterious Muyen. What is his background? Don't disappoint this elder. A powerful divine sense began to cover the entire Tianji Hall. However, after this divine sense spread out, it was suppressed by a special technique. It was almost impossible to detect the existence of the divine sense. Master, this guy has quite a number of treasures on him. First, he can conceal his aura. Now, he can even fuse his divine sense with the void. But in the end, he still has to fall into Master's trap. The little devil flew around. They really think that I don't know about the back door of Tianji Hall. Back then, I stayed behind to trick a few people. I didn't expect someone to be so stupid. Many of the treasures in Lin Fei's hands came from Tianji Hall. With a sample, everything would be easy. In Lin Fei's eyes, this elder Shin before him was just like a fat sheep waiting to be slaughtered. Not only that, he would be able to contribute quite a number of treasures to Lin Fei. This was simply exhilarating. Lin Fei believed that many people would pay a hefty price for this at the premium grade auction. Master, let me play with those little ants. Go, go! Lin Fei really didn't have the mood to deal with these ants. It was better to leave it to the little devil. It would save him a lot of energy. Ha ha ha, a bunch of small fries. Lord Devil is here. The little devil laughed loudly and disappeared from the room. When he reappeared, he was already not far away from the enemy. Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I have to meet this Elder Shen too. Elder Shen, bad news. We are under attack. A dire beast attacked us. We have suffered heavy losses. Just as Shinmu was about to look for Mu Yan, an anxious voice came from the communication device. Following that, miserable screams could be heard. Not good. Shenmu turned around and was about to rush over. His heart was filled with doubts. How could a dire beast cause casualties to the law enforcement guards? It was completely impossible. This cast a shadow over Shinmu's heart. Whoosh! Whoosh! Just as Shinmu was about to rush over, an invisible barrier rose up and sealed him in a narrow space. Elder Shin, why didn't you inform me that you are here in the middle of the night? Lin Fei came out from the void. The entire Tianji Hall had been modified into a unique space. He could teleport anywhere. Shinmu narrowed his eyes. You are that Mu Yan. How did you know that I am here? With regards to the treasures of the Heavenly Secrets Hall, Shinmu was very confident. Outsiders simply did not know how powerful the Heavenly Secrets Hall was. There were many kinds of treasures, and any one of them could set off a bloody storm. Shinmu couldn't understand how he was discovered. It didn't make sense. If the other party didn't discover him, he would have appeared at this time. He didn't care much about the barrier around him. That's right. I am the person in charge here, Mu Yan. Lin Fei smiled. As for how I found out, it's simple. Don't you know that the entire South Cloud continent is under my surveillance? The moment your law enforcement team entered the South Cloud continent, I knew about it. Your actions at night were like empty shells in my eyes. The back door was also left for you. How is it? Are the methods of our avengers good enough? Shinmu, who was full of confidence, felt like he had been hit in the head. At this moment, he felt like a clown. Chapter 2546. I heard that there are many treasures in Tianji Hall. Take them all out and let me take a look. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. Because I never joke. Lin Fei narrowed his eyes and said lazily. Shinmu relied on the treasures on him and did not place the other party in his eyes, especially when the other party was alone. His cultivation realm was not high, and he might not be that strong. The situation did not look good. Shinmu was confident that he could turn the situation around. I'm afraid that you won't be able to live to see the treasures in Tianji Hall. Shinmu said coldly, I can see that you are a talent. It would be a pity for you to die in this place. Why don't you join me? We can pretend that what you have done in the past never happened. There's no need to die for the Avengers. Don't be fooled by the fact that you have caused a ruckus. In our eyes, it's just a small fight. We can crush you with a single finger. Shinmu was a smart person, although he was not clear about the internal problems. Seeing that Mu Yan did not have any extra people around him, he decided to try recruiting him. If he succeeded, the benefits would be unimaginable. Tianji Hall had great influence. Shinmu was not afraid that the other party would be tempted. As long as you are willing to join me, with your ability, your future in Tianji Hall will be limitless. You might even be able to enter the upper echelons of Tianji Hall. Shinmu said again, vaguely pointing out his future achievements. Anyone who heard this would be tempted. Who was Lin Fei? He was able to create the Avengers by himself. Future? Lin Fei really did not care about such things. Who do you think you are? How dare you recruit my master? The little devil's sarcastic voice came from the void. He stopped in midair and stared at Shenmue with disdain. He released the powerful aura of an ancient beast. The aura of an ancient beast swept over like a mountain. Shenmue was finally moved. Ancient beast, this is an ancient beast. The wind god ancient beast. Any ancient beast was a super expert. They commanded desolate beasts and had the might of a king. Shenmue had never imagined that there would be an ancient beast in the Avengers. Hold on. An ancient beast called Mu Yen Master? What was going on? Shenmue's reaction was still very fast. He sensed that something was amiss. Sorry, your elite law enforcement team has been wiped out by me. To be honest, their equipment is really good. Unfortunately, they met me, Lord Little Devil. The Little Devil threw out a piece of news. Shenmue felt as though he had been smacked in the head. He might not believe the words of an outsider, but there was no need to doubt the words of an ancient beast. He had been fooled. He had really been fooled. This time, Shenmue was really dealt a heavy blow. As soon as they saw him, their side suffered heavy losses. Apart from the people around them, the night raid could be said to be a failure. Good. This elder has always been the one scheming against others. I didn't think that you would suffer a loss in your hands. However, the Avengers shouldn't be too happy. Shenmue raised his head once again, his face revealing a malevolent expression. It's still uncertain who will win and who will lose. At this moment, Shenmue finally used the powerful treasure in his hand. A top-notch energy gun. It was black in color, flickering with a terrifying chill. Boom! At a short distance, the muzzle of the gun shot out a terrifying, destructive force. The surrounding barrier was broken with a bang, carrying endless power as it rushed towards Lin Fei's head. Lin Fei was slightly moved, his eyes lit up. You guys have really developed a top-notch energy gun. Don't look at it as just one shot. It contained a terrifying theory. By stacking all the power, it could erupt with a super powerful force. There weren't many of such top-notch energy guns in Tianji Hall. This time it was also for insurance. The energy used to fire one shot was a huge figure. Mu Yen, you can die for this elder. Shenmue didn't intend to recruit him. It was better to shoot him dead on the spot. If he died, he could more or less find out some secrets. In front of a top-notch energy gun, Shenmue didn't believe that the other party could dodge it. It was the same for the tribe's rank 9 experts. Their strong bodies would be torn apart, especially at such a close distance. It could be said that it was foolproof. The shorter the distance, the greater the power. This was simply a nightmare for anyone. The closer the distance, the greater the power. Shenmue was waiting for this moment of opportunity. Lin Fei did not panic, and he sent out a seal with both hands, causing a square-shaped shield to appear in front of him. The terrifying beam of light landed on the square-shaped shield, and an extraordinary might exploded out, giving it a powerful, piercing ability. The square shield was continuously smashed. The other party's gun was like a sharp knife, persevering and constantly erupting with superpower. The power of a top-notch energy gun is indeed extraordinary. Other than dodging, no treasures can block it. Lin Fei immediately felt the difference between a high-level energy gun and a top-notch energy gun. If Shenmue knew, he would probably be dumbfounded. There was actually someone who dared to test the difference between the two. The power of this shot is not bad. However, I don't intend to continue playing with you. Lin Fei said to Shenmue, who was full of joy. What? Shenmue, who was in a good mood, suddenly had a bad feeling. He was trying to resist a top-notch energy gun. Heavy cannons appeared in the surrounding void. There were a total of 18 cannons, and each one was controlled by someone. All of them were aimed at Shenmue. Boom! Boom! 18 heavy cannons fired at the same time. It was earth-shattering and instantly submerged Shenmue. Bright light constantly shot out, and in an instant, Shenmue disappeared without a trace. What was left at that spot was a corpse full of holes. If I didn't want to test what means you have, you would have died long ago. To be able to live a little longer, it's your gain. The 18 heavy cannons seemed to be fixed in one position, but that was only used to confuse others. As long as one was within the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, they could move as they pleased. This was also the new change of the heavy cannons. They didn't need to be controlled by humans, and the system could fully control them. If someone was certain that the 18 heavy cannons wouldn't move, that would be a huge mistake. In the end, they would have to pay a huge price. Master, it seems that the Tian family's man is stalking us outside. Do you want to deal with him? Little Devil revealed an ominous glint. No need. Keeping him alive is better than killing him. Even if he has the guts, he might not say anything. Lin Fei smiled. Now, let me check what treasure this Elder Shen has brought. Chapter 2547. A top-notch energy gun. That's good stuff. He had obtained quite a number of treasures from Shenmue. For example, this top-notch energy gun also had a groove that could be embedded with energy cards. As long as Lin Fei had a finished product, he would be able to modify it, and its grade would increase accordingly. After scanning it with the system, the pros and cons of the top-notch energy gun were revealed. Even though it was very good, there were still flaws in the system's flawless view. As an elder, he's really wealthy. He even carries over 200,000 black crystal cards with him when he goes out. When he found 200,000 black crystal cards, Lin Fei's eyes lit up. This was good stuff. Regardless of whether this fortune belonged to Tianji Hall or Elder Shin, it all belonged to Lin Fei now. I used up at least 100 cards to block the top-notch energy gun. These 200,000 cards can be considered compensation. Putting away the 200,000 black crystal cards, Lin Fei continued searching. He had to praise Elder Shin for being a good elder. He had brought a lot of things with him. In Lin Fei's words, they were all top-notch items, but in Lin Fei's hands, they didn't seem like much. This should be the hidden treasure. Lin Fei took out a bead-like item and injected some energy into it. It released a brand new type of energy and acted as a barrier to a certain extent. This effect was still flawed. It couldn't compare to the real barrier function of the system. The difference between the two was too great. This seems to be a single-use weapon. It didn't take long for Lin Fei to find a few ball-like objects. With just a glance, Lin Fei could tell what was different about these ball-like objects. There was a mass of destructive power compressed within them. With just a light toss, the compressed power would explode. Their research is progressing really quickly. From the details, Lin Fei could tell that Tianji Hall's research capabilities were indeed unparalleled. No other power could compare to them. It was a pity that they had encountered Lin Fei. It just so happens that the auction is lacking some items. These can be put on stage. In the void, Tian Xianyong and Tian Haisha were waiting. From night to daybreak, there was not the slightest movement within the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. It appeared to be very peaceful. The elders of Tianji Hall did not come out. If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed that someone had actually come. Let's go. Something happened to them. Tian Xianyong suddenly opened his eyes and stood up. His expression became unnatural. Something's wrong. They are Tianji Hall. Tian Hai did not believe that it was true. In the ancient desolation great world, anyone who mentioned Tianji Hall would feel a certain amount of fear. No one knew the true strength of Tianji Hall, and just the law enforcement team that ran amok outside was enough to make people tremble in fear. Tian Xianyong was indeed planning to be the fisherman. No matter which side was defeated, they would take advantage of the situation. As a member of an ancient family, others might be afraid of Tianji Hall, but they were not. If it was not necessary, they would rarely offend the other party, as it was meaningless. In one night, when Tianji Hall entered and there was no movement, Tian Xianyong knew that something bad had happened. He turned and left. Tian Haisha indignantly followed and left. He was extremely unwilling to not be able to see Mu Yan's miserable state. The competition for the last invitation letter on the last day was also very intense. This time, the people who came were not people from the 8 ancient families, but members of the great tribal alliance that rarely appeared. The moment they appeared, they released the signboard behind them. No one dared to say anything. If it was a tribe, it would be fine. Everyone would have to give them face based on the situation. However, the other party was from the great tribal alliance. The meaning was different. It was worth everyone's attention and fear. Without a doubt, the last invitation letter was obtained by the great tribal alliance. At this point, all 15 invitation letters had their owners. Everyone was looking forward to the opening of the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce tomorrow. Some things that could not be accomplished in a lifetime might be realized tomorrow. How could they not be looking forward to it? At the same time, there was another matter that everyone was quite concerned about. Why had the people from Tianji Hall not appeared yet? Had they given up on dealing with the Avengers? It was already the 10th day. The auction was about to begin. Even until night time, the people from Tianji Hall did not appear. Everything seemed to be calm. All the forces were discussing spiritedly. They were really curious about how the Avengers had prevented Tianji Hall from appearing. Among all the forces, Tian Xianyong was probably the only one who knew the situation. However, he did not say anything. He even suspected that Mu Yan knew that he wanted to be the fisherman, and that Mu Yan was eager for him to go in and take advantage of the situation. Shameless, too cunning, Tian Xianyong cursed 100 times in his heart. He had almost been fooled. He believed that if he had barged in like that elder Shin, it would have been very difficult for him to sit here. If you want to scare me with this, you are gravely mistaken. Tian Xianyong was not an easy person to deal with. He thought of a trick and sent someone to send a message to the Tianji Hall branch. He did not believe that the Avengers could always resist Tianji Hall's revenge. Tian Xianyong was very good at playing such tricks. On the 11th day, the weather was fine. It was another good day. The day of the real auction had arrived. Outside the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, there was already a huge crowd. The talk about the path of science and technology had set off a wave in the South Cloud continent, and everyone was looking forward to it. More people were watching from the sidelines. After all, without seeing it with their own eyes, they would never know the situation. Everyone needed to understand more about the path of science and technology. One thing that could not be denied was that in this Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, they saw a glimmer of hope for the future. Lin Fei pushed the door open again. Behind him were 2 groups of guards armed with advanced energy guns. They were lined up on the left and right, and all of them were dressed in the same way. When they stood there, they instantly gave everyone a sense of oppression. Today is the auction, and it is also the first time the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce is holding an auction. I am very happy that so many people have come. It proves that everyone hopes for a perfect future. Then let the auction begin. With a wave of his hand, Lin Fei removed the array formation. At this moment, a murderous aura assaulted them. After removing the array formation, everyone became aware of the deterrence brought about by the advanced energy guns. At the same time, the 18 heavy cannons reappeared and aimed at the sky. Anyone who came in from above would immediately be turned into sieves. The left side is where the tickets are sold. The first 10,000 people are allowed to enter. Everyone queue up accordingly. If anyone tries to force their way in, these guards don't mind turning you into a hornet's nest. Thank you for your cooperation. Surprisingly, no one had any objections. In less than a moment, 2 long lines of people lined up majestically. It was a spectacular sight. Ha ha ha, I got the tickets. Chapter 2548. On this day, as soon as the Revenge Chamber of Commerce opened to the public, it caused quite a commotion. Even those who planned to wait and see, or those who had money, immediately queued up, afraid to miss this opportunity. As the first person entered the Revenge Chamber of Commerce, it immediately stirred up everyone's emotions. They could not wait to enter the hall of the Revenge Chamber of Commerce and feast their eyes. On the ticket side, their actions were swift. One by one, they excitedly rushed into the hall of the Revenge Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations, Brother Muyen. Looking at the situation, the Revenge Chamber of Commerce's auction will definitely be a hit. The various forces who had 15 invitation letters stood together. Fan Qingyuan took the initiative to congratulate him with a smile. He was cultured and elegant, giving people a very friendly feeling. Everyone must be very curious about the situation. Then, let's go in and take a look. Lin Fei invited. The forces behind him did not refuse. A group of people walked into the hall of the Revenge Chamber of Commerce. The newly renovated hall was very different from the original hall of Tianji Hall. At least it felt high-end. The various materials laid on the floor immediately made these people feel that it was extraordinary. A trace of shock flashed through their hearts. The Avengers had become even more mysterious. These forces all had good eyesight. They could clearly see the surrounding materials. Many of them were rare materials that could be made into various treasures. But now these materials were laid on the floor and became a kind of decoration. Many people secretly twitched the corner of their mouths. Too extravagant, too wasteful. They wanted to say, if you don't want the materials, you can give them to us. We will buy them at a high price. These people did not know that these materials were very cheap. They were all made using energy units. They could get as many as they wanted. Lin Fei did not care about their gazes. He pointed to the hall and said, "This is the hall of the Revenge Chamber of Commerce. There are a total of 8 counters. Each counter has a variety of treasures for sale. Each person can only buy one temporarily. For example, the counter closest to yours is selling Avenger number 1. Actually, needless to say, everyone looked over. There was a skinny young man there, but his body was filled with a kind of hatred. It was very cold. At this moment, his eyes were staring at the Avenger number 1 inside the counter. You're saying, one Avenger number 1 only needs. The skinny young man's voice rose by quite a bit in an instant, and his body trembled slightly. 100 black crystal cards. The attendant at the counter replied sweetly, "That's right. You didn't hear wrong. Avenger number 1. The discounted price is only 100 black crystal cards. If you buy it now, you'll get 10 free energy cards. If you miss this promotion, who knows when you'll get another one. Buying it now is the best deal." Enemy of Bloodman, Fan Qingyuan, Tian Xianyong, Gu Ju, and the other forces almost spat out a mouthful of blood upon hearing this. Was this still a beginner energy gun that was priceless? This price was naturally set by Lin Fei. 100 black crystal cards, to be honest, was not very high, especially since this was the ancient Desolation Great World, which produced a large number of energy wall stones. 100 black crystal cards was not much, and it was considered very cheap. Your Excellency Muyen, are you really planning to set the price of Avenger number 1 at 100 black crystal cards? The giant Guju asked, his eyes shining. Lin Fei laughed. You didn't hear wrong. Avenger number 1 is priced at 100 black crystal cards. If not for the fact that the technology has not broken through, the price would be even cheaper. After all, if we want to popularize it, it's best if everyone can afford it. Everyone's mood was different. In the beginning, they felt that such a high-grade Avenger number 1 would be sold for at least 1,000 black crystal cards. Even the inferior ones from the Hall of Secrets were sold for 500 black crystal cards, and there was no market for them. But now, 100 black crystal cards. It felt like a dream. This price was too good. It was going to be popularized in the entire ancient Desolation Great World. Everyone immediately realized an important problem. A technological storm was about to descend. I want it. I want an Avenger #1. The skinny young man was excited and couldn't wait to buy it. Mister, since you are our first customer, our Chamber of Commerce will give you a small gift. The attendant took out a box from the counter. The box contained 3 round balls and introduced, "This is our Chamber of Commerce's new product. Its power is extraordinary. We named it Sky Explosion Thunder, a group attack weapon." Sky Explosion Thunder was naturally something that Lin Fei had just created. It was all thanks to the treasure provided by Shinmu. Changing its name, it had a little bit of power. It was something completely new. The counter here sells common items. For example, that Sky Explosion Thunder. It is still useful against groups of desolate beasts. It is good for self-defense. At a critical moment, it can be used on them. This Sky Explosion Thunder is cheap. One is only 1 black crystal card. If you buy 1,000 of them, you can get a 10% discount. Lin Fei introduced himself. After this round of introduction, the faces of the 15 powers changed. Now, they really believed Mu Yan's words. The future of technology seemed to be unstoppable. Tianji Hall? No way. If the price of the items sold by the Chamber of Commerce were to be spread, it would definitely cause a huge impact on Tianji Hall's profits. Unless they destroyed the Avengers Alliance. As long as they existed, Tianji Hall would have to follow them obediently. Everyone could see this point very clearly. It was not a normal level of clarity. They secretly rejoiced that they had come today to witness the storm that was about to form in the future. The Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, created by the Avengers Alliance, would be the beginning of a grand prologue. The 15 powers present all had their previous dissatisfaction. Compared to Tianji Hall's monopoly, they preferred the huge change that the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce would bring. In this situation, where the ancient desolation world was widespread, whoever wanted to take the lead would have a definite advantage in the future. The premium item auction had not started yet. They were looking forward to it. Facing the fact that the treasures that were open to the public were so cheap and could cause a scene of chaos, if not for the guns pointing at them, no one would be able to suppress the thoughts in their hearts. Just like what was said with the first person to buy the Avenger #1, it immediately led to a wave of crazy buying. In their eyes, they had never been so close to these things. It was too cheap. To them, it was cheap. Compared to Tianji Hall, where it was hard to get a gun, the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce had a conscience. Now, everyone follow me. We will participate in the premium item auction. I guarantee that it will be the most fortunate auction of your life. Actually, they had been looking forward to this moment for a long time. Chapter 2549. 1 Avenger #1 for 100 black crystal cards. Wow, it's such a good deal. Sky Blasting Thunder, 1 black crystal card for 1? Is it a group attack technological weapon? I want 100 of them. This is a good thing. Throw it all at once and see if he dies. It's a flying machine. It has an energy shield and can fly in the air even without a powerful, fleshly body. It's really a rare treasure. I heard that it costs 666 in the Heavenly Secrets Hall, but it's only 66 black crystal cards here. With these things, what talent do I need? Even if it's an expert, he can only eat dust in front of me. Ha ha ha. Today was an exciting day for everyone in South Cloud, especially after buying the things from the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. They were all excited. The price was completely affordable, and they even saw machines that could make energy cards. Regarding energy cards, it had always been a secret of Tianji Hall. Basically, they would not sell the equipment, and most of them would be sold as finished products. But today, they had personally experienced the production of energy cards. It wasn't as troublesome as they had imagined. It was nothing more than a simple purification and compression. The Vengeance Chamber of Commerce not only provided equipment, but also sold energy cards. The price was not very high, and the thing that everyone was most worried about could finally be put down. From now on, no one could restrict their use of technological treasures. This was something that no one dared to imagine before coming here. They're really worthless playthings. In the hall, a cold beauty was accompanying an old man. The old man was not in a good mood and was constantly talking. I really didn't expect the Avengers to be so bold and dare to lead such a huge change. The treasures at Tianji Hall are expensive, and many people want to buy them. But here, these treasures can improve the strength of the family as long as you pay an extremely low price. If we had, this old man was Bing Changha. Bing Changha was also here to join in the fun. After looking around, even his own face changed. The appearance of these technological weapons meant that the future situation would change greatly. Originally, the Bing family had a great opportunity, but it was destroyed in the hands of some people in the family. Bing Qingya rejoiced that she went to find Mu Yan. Great Elder, we still have a chance. For example, this kind of energy purification. From now on, we don't need to be restricted by Tianji Hall anymore. Soon, the competition for minds in this world will be even more intense. Our Bing family must immediately increase our strength. Bing Changha nodded his head. You're still the best. If the family doesn't have you, I really don't know what would happen to it. Is the trend of science and technology really going to drown us cultivators? Bing Qingya didn't know what to say, so she remained silent. The storm brought about by the trend of technology would be unimaginable. In an elegantly decorated room of the Revenge Chamber of Commerce, this was the venue of the auction. The 15 powers sat together. There were no private rooms, only tables, and at each table sat 1 or 2 people. The joy between their brows could not be concealed. From the buying frenzy in the hall of the Chamber of Commerce outside, they were looking forward to the auction. Everyone here today is a person with a good eye. As a pure businessman, as long as you can afford it, you will be a quality customer of our Chamber of Commerce. This time, Lin Fei personally went up to host the auction. Let's cut the nonsense and start today's auction immediately. I guarantee that everyone's trip will not be in vain. Lin Fei's words got everyone's approval. If a businessman had other emotions, he wouldn't be a businessman. Everyone knew who this sentence was referring to. On this point, Tian Xianyong couldn't help but look up to the other party. Only a businessman without emotions could truly be considered a businessman. Today's first item is an appetizer. Vanguard number 1, 10 in a bundle, intermediate energy gun. The starting price is 10,000 black crystal cards. Immediately, someone sent 10 Vanguard number 1. The first item to be auctioned caused the 15 powers present to be excited. It was a medium-grade energy gun. The starting price of one was 1,000 black crystal cards. The price was so low that it was unimaginable. Everyone looked at the other powers and immediately put on a vigilant and hostile look. Vanguard number 1, there will be a total of 5 auctions. Those who want it, hurry up. Lin Fei said with a smile, Now let the auction begin. 11,000. Immediately a power raised his hand. 15,000, Demon God Empire. 20,000, Expeditionary Empire. The bidding was very intense. The 15 powers present were all envious of such a good thing at a low price. They almost shouted, If this is the appetizer, how can we continue to play later? They were all doubting whether they had brought enough money this time. 40,000 black crystal cards, the last auction complete. Lin Fei announced the end of the first treasure. This price was not high, but compared with Tianji Hall, there was a big gap. However, for Lin Fei, it was still a lot of money and the benefits were unimaginable. They didn't know this. Now let the second auction begin. As the price of the first batch reached 40,000 black crystal cards, the price of the second batch directly reached 60,000 black crystal cards. 5 batches of Vanguard number 1 were auctioned for a total of 800,000 black crystal cards, which was equivalent to 150,000 black crystal cards for each batch. Among them, the special envoys of the Tribal Alliance won 2 batches, paying a total of 300,000 black crystal cards. Now, the second treasure is the sky-piercing thunder that everyone has seen before. It's an enhanced type which can effectively deal with a large area of effect attack from 5th to 8th job advancement professions. Lin Fei clapped his hands. We will also auction 5 batches with 10 in each batch. The starting price is 50,000 black crystal cards. The first Vanguard number 1 already made everyone excited. Although it was a group of 10, it was a trump card at the crucial moment. It was very suitable for attacking the capital. The enhanced sky-piercing thunder made everyone's eyes light up. A large area of effect attack treasure. Although it was only a one-time use, its power and effect were very amazing. The bidding became even more intense, especially for the Demon God Empire's enemy Bloodman and Fan Qingyuan. This was definitely a siege weapon. If they used it in a wave, they would suffer heavy losses. The 2 empires could see it, and so could the other forces. In a big situation, it would definitely be a terrifying threat. It was worth paying a high price. After 5 batches of enhanced sky-piercing thunder, they contributed another 600,000 black crystal cards to Lin Fei. 2 items were auctioned. Over 100 black crystal cards were contributed. This was much faster than mining the ore veins. Lin Fei was overjoyed in his heart. This was an auspicious opening, and the profits were great. For a moment, Lin Fei almost laughed out loud. This speed of earning money was really a matter of seconds. Now, the third concealment treasure, Concealment Pearl. It can conceal all auras. The 15 forces once again plunged into a frenzied bidding. Chapter 2550. Did you go to the Revenge Chamber of Commerce today? What? You didn't go? Are you stupid? Hurry up and go. Our chance is here. A beginner energy gun like the Avenger number 1 has become a cheap item. The Avengers are mighty. F*CK, 100 black crystal cards for an Avenger number 1 beginner energy gun? How is that possible? The Revenge Chamber of Commerce was on fire. On the same day, the news spread. The originally empty spots were all taken, leaving behind a large group of people outside. If it weren't for the black muzzles warning them, they might have been unable to restrain themselves from rushing in. For the next few days, the Revenge Chamber of Commerce in South Cloud Continent was on fire. Every day, there were countless people queuing up to snatch a spot to enter. These days, there was a promotion. If they went to buy it now, they would get the biggest discount. The entire South Cloud Continent was talking about the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. As for those who had bought the items from the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, they had no qualms about boasting about it. There were even a few people who bought the Vengeance number 1 and went to kill a few of their enemies on the same day. It was a spectacular event. It caused the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce to become popular once again. Everyone finally realized how terrifying technological weapons were. If one's talent was not good, it was fine. Cripple? That was fine too, as long as one had money. One trip in would give them terrifying combat power. From then on, they would no longer be a cripple. Those who had no talent and had a certain background could finally flaunt their strength. In a short period of time, they were jealous of each other. Are you sure it's true? A beginner energy gun only needs 100 black crystal cards? The 2 ancient families went. The entire South Cloud Continent is boiling. One by one, the news reached the ears of the major forces in the ancient Desolation world. From the initial disbelief to the news sent back by the scouts, the entire ancient Desolation world was in an uproar. If not for the scouts swearing that the news was true, they would have wondered when things could be so cheap. Before everyone could rush to the South Cloud Continent, something happened. The ancient families, the Tian and Gu families, led their experts to occupy the Energy Wall stone mine. After a battle, the 2 ancient families won. During this period, fierce weapons appeared on the stage. This time, the 2 ancient clans had relied on their weapons and other treasures to take over the mine in one fell swoop, blinding countless people. Very soon, the news of the two great clans going to the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce to participate in the auction spread to the ears of the various major powers. They could not help but look at each other in dismay, all feeling vexed. Why didn't they go at the first moment back then? Now they got the advantage. Master, there's a fire! Inside the Revenge Chamber of Commerce. The little devil was in a very good mood. Now the entire South Cloud continent, and even the nearby continents, know of the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. Every day, there are countless people pouring into the South Cloud continent. It was the 5th day since the auction ended. Lin Fei made a lot of money and made a lot of money. Every time he thought about it, Lin Fei would smile. I also heard that both the Tian family and Gu family have made their move and captured a large mineral vein. This is a setup in advance. The little devil proudly said, they're quite smart. They know to occupy the mine first so that they can get the energy wall stones. Lin Fei smirked. To be able to become an ancient family, how many of them are simple? The storm of technology has begun to form. If they don't expand their forces at this time, they will be suppressed by others and eventually become a weak force. The actions of the ancient families. Lin Fei wasn't surprised at all. Everyone knew of this. In the future, resources will become important strategic materials. To capture one now is equivalent to taking advantage of them. In a few days, it will be even more lively. I need to prepare more. The influence of the storm of technology continued to ferment. Almost every continent would have a scene of a loser turning into a strong esper. One mustn't forget that in this world, there will never be a lack of people with money. Those with poor talent are still not a small number. Now they have the hope of rising. If their talent isn't enough, I can start with technological weapons. If their physical body isn't enough, I can configure an aircraft. As long as they have money, wanting to improve their strength is never a dream. The news of a loser making a comeback, one after another, kept stimulating those people. Those without money went to earn money. Those with money all went to the South Cloud continent. The big and small forces all followed. This was because some forces with similar strength had their strength greatly improved overnight and ambushed them, resulting in heavy losses and damage to their interests. This time they couldn't sit still and prepared to go to the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce to buy treasures. The originally peaceful, ancient, desolate world started to become restless. It was as if a large hand was pushing the development, and waves of undercurrents were forming. At this time, everyone's gaze was focused on Tianji Hall. The Vengeance Alliance's Chamber of Commerce was undoubtedly snatching meat from Tianji Hall's hands. Furthermore, it was a huge piece of meat. Everyone was waiting for Tianji Hall's reaction. Tianji Hall, headquarters, the Heavenly Secrets Hall, which used to be bustling with people, suddenly became deserted. The people of the Heavenly Secrets Hall all had ugly expressions on their faces. Following the news, their branch's profits had greatly decreased, and almost no one came to visit. In front of the cheap things from the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, no one was willing to pay more. Even if Tianji Hall had a deep influence, they still didn't buy it. Comparing the two, their previous contributions were extremely painful. The entire Tianji Hall was dealt a huge blow by the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce's auction. It was like a head-on blow, making them dizzy. The upper echelons of Tianji Hall all felt a trace of pressure. In the past few days, the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce had caused an uproar. The small-scale battles that broke out in various continents were almost all related to the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. How could they not be shocked? Shenmu, what the hell is going on? Aren't we going to teach the Vengeance Alliance a lesson? Why is it like this? Damn the Vengeance Alliance. Originally, our Tianji Hall's orders have been cancelled one by one. Those people don't want it anymore. They are eating from the inside. Back then, if it wasn't for our Tianji Hall's treasures, they wouldn't have today's achievements. In the upper echelons meeting, these upper echelons were like shrews scolding the streets, making a ruckus nonstop. They didn't look like upper echelons at all. It was truly a huge blow to their interests. This was tantamount to shaking the foundation of Tianji Hall. It was already like this in a short period of time. If this continued, wouldn't it take their old lives? Other than cursing those people, what they hated the most was the Vengeance Alliance. This was equivalent to pulling out their tendons and drinking their blood. There had never been a force that dared to do this. Tianji Hall had always used the treasures in their hands to monopolize the entire market of the ancient desolation great world. Even if those people were dissatisfied, they didn't dare to say anything. After all, Tianji Hall had experts overseeing it, supporting it with all kinds of treasures. Even if someone who was several times stronger came, they wouldn't be able to gain any advantage. It was precisely because of this reason that Tianji Hall had always been fearless and controlled the profiteering business. After a long period of time, Tianji Hall dominated an area and became a unique power. Even if it was an ancient family, they didn't put it in their eyes. However, the Vengeance Alliance actually nibbled away at the market share that belonged to Tianji Hall step by step, and even kicked them to the side. How could this make them feel comfortable? Chapter 2551. In the headquarters of Tianji Hall, it was a chaotic scene. Following the rhythmic knocking sounds, the entire place quietened down. "We have to stop this." This sentence was equivalent to a conclusion. There was no need for too much explanation. "Sect Master, who will be in charge of this matter, don't end up like Elder Shinmu, who didn't accomplish anything in the end." Everyone still had a certain degree of resentment toward Shinmu. They had clearly gone to stop it, but in the end, nothing was done. It was reasonable for everyone to complain. Elder Shen is already dead. The Avengers used some unknown method to conceal the information, so no one knows about it. The sect master, sitting at the head of the table, said calmly. There was an uproar below. Elder Shinmu had actually been killed. He had brought an elite law enforcement team with him, and with the power he had, he could easily wipe out the first-rate forces. In the end, he had fallen to the hands of the Avengers. Everyone found it hard to believe. He's actually dead. No wonder they didn't stop the Avengers from holding the first auction. Everyone's resentment lessened significantly. Since he was dead, it was understandable. Everyone was looking forward to seeing who would deal with the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce of the South Cloud continent. If the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce was allowed to continue expanding its influence, Tianji Hall's days would be even more difficult. One Vengeance Chamber of Commerce was enough to make Tianji Hall unable to withstand it. If a few more of them were to appear, their days would be over. This time, I'll let the 5 Elements envoys deal with the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. The 5 Elements envoys. The expressions of the upper echelons changed slightly. No one knew better than them how powerful the 5 Elements envoys were. They were death warriors secretly nurtured by Tianji Hall, and any one of them had the battle prowess of a 9th transition job. If the 5 Elements envoys joined forces, even a peak 9th transition job expert would have to be wary of them and not dare to face them head-on. The 5 Elements envoys were definitely extremely dangerous. In Tianji Hall, only the sect master could command them. No one else could. Deep beneath Tianji Hall, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, 5 masses of energy floated in the void, shining brightly. Not far away, crystals were connected to the 5 masses of energy, constantly transmitting energy. The leader of Tianji Hall was standing on the stone platform. 5 Elements envoy, it's time for you to show your ferocious name again. This time, your target is the South Cloud Continent's Vengeance Chamber of Commerce's Muyen. I want you to bring him back and everything that belongs to the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. The 5 balls of energy landed on the ground and turned into 5 different human figures. However, their faces were expressionless and extremely cold, giving off a feeling that no one could approach them. They crawled on the ground. Understood. They once again turned into 5 masses of energy and passed through the void. The 5 Elements envoys the 5 innate special spirits. It took me more than 3,000 years to erase their spirituality, and another 3,000 years to nurture them to their current state. Now let's see how you resist. The leader of Tianji Hall smiled and turned to leave. South Cloud Continent. The fire of the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce also made the Southern Cloud Continent the center of a technological storm. For the people here, it was a blessing because they could hear any news about the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce every day. A certain person would use a technological weapon to blow up the enemy's head. A certain prodigy would be killed by a good-for-nothing, and so on. Things that were unimaginable in the past were constantly happening in the South Cloud Continent. The counterattack of a good-for-nothing, the killing of a prodigy, any one of them was worth talking about. The advantages of technological weapons were also constantly being displayed. In a short period of time, the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce received the favor of countless people, especially those good-for-nothings and rich people. Almost all of them were worshipped by the top-notch people, as though they were their benefactors. The result of the Red Fire was naturally the arrival of various forces. Near the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, those people had opened up a gathering place. Luxurious mansions appeared on the mountain peaks. Various major forces had set up a stronghold here so that they could keep abreast of the latest developments of the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, such as the next auction. After the first auction, forces gathered in the South Cloud Continent, wanting to participate in the auction. They even wanted to purchase large quantities of Vanguard No. 1 and other technological equipment with attractive force. Faced with the requests of those forces, the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce rejected all of them. Everyone could only watch helplessly. Force the other party to hand it over? There were many forces that had this idea, but unfortunately they did not have the guts. At the very least, they had to have a way to resist the bombardment of 18 heavy cannons, in addition to the counterattack of a group of terrifying elite guards from the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. In summary, no one had the confidence. Even if they joined forces, they had no chance of winning. They could only buy cheap technological treasures that could at least increase their strength by a portion. Banquet. Looking at the invitation letter that was sent in, Lin Fei smiled. These people are really interesting. Since they couldn't get the items from the auction, they actually took another path. The special creatures that could be found all over the South Cloud Continent could let Lin Fei know everything. Although Lin Fei did not have the curiosity to pay attention to some of the important things that happened every day, the little devil would gather, and he only needed to browse through it once. They invited me to a banquet, which is equivalent to the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce opening the market. This identity of mine can also be openly walked around. No one will have any doubts. After doing so much, Lin Fei finally completed the preliminary arrangements. Tonight, a grand banquet was ushered in the South Cloud Continent. Big shots that were usually not seen would all appear at the banquet in the South Cloud Continent tonight. It was almost a grand event. Well-informed people knew that tonight the forces of the South Cloud Continent would invite the person in charge of the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, Mu Yan, to a banquet. After the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce became popular, this Mu Yan, who represented the Avengers Alliance, became a person in the eyes of everyone who could not afford to offend. A word from the other party could decide whether or not they could participate in the next boutique auction. Although everyone did not participate in the boutique auction, everyone's intelligence agencies had received news, such as the actions of the two ancient families. It was rumored that a secret force had been mobilized during this period. Without guessing, everyone knew that this was definitely something from the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, and at the same time, it could only be found in that auction. The gains of the person who had obtained the 15 invitation letters must be unimaginable. Some acquaintances had tried to find out more about it, but the other party just chuckled. However, from that chuckle, everyone knew at least one thing, and that was that they had obtained a great harvest from this auction, and their overall strength had increased greatly. Those forces who had received the news before and did not care about it This time, they really regretted it to death. They missed this opportunity to rise, and there was no need to mention how angry they were in their hearts. Chapter 2552. South Cloud Continent, South Cloud City. As the curtain of night fell, Nanyun City became brightly lit. In front of the Zhao family's mansion, there was an endless stream of horses and carriages. Tonight's banquet was held in the Zhao family. Speaking of this Zhao family, they were very influential. They had entered the ancient desolation world relatively early. After taking root here, they had given up everything outside and focused on developing. Now they had a great influence in the South Cloud Continent and even the entire ancient desolation world. Everyone was convinced that the banquet was hosted by the Zhao family. No one was more qualified than the Zhao family to host it. Is that Elder Zhao? It seems so. I didn't expect him to personally come out to welcome us. He didn't come for them, he came for Mu Yan. At the entrance of the Zhao family's mansion, the ruddy-faced elder Zhao rarely came out to welcome people. With their status and experience, no one would foolishly put on airs. Almost every person who came would take the initiative to step forward and say polite words. Bing Qingya of the Bing family is here. I heard that she has a great influence in the family. The great elder seems to want her to lead the family. Someone exclaimed when he saw the newcomer. Tonight, Bing Qingya was dressed in palace attire and came together with the great elder Bing Changhe. Brother Changhe, what a rare guest. Zhao Dezhong was different from before. He smiled and took the initiative to greet him. Bing Changhe went up to greet him. How could I dare not come to a banquet hosted by Brother Zhao? Zhao Dezhong laughed. You're getting old, but you still like to joke around. Bing Changhe laughed as well. After the two exchanged greetings, someone immediately brought Bing Changhe and Bing Qingya to the hall. Tonight's banquet has many guests. The Zhao family's ambition is not small. The moment Bing Changhe entered the hall, the smile on his face disappeared and was replaced with a trace of seriousness. Great elder, actually we don't need to worry. Mu Yan is not that easy to scheme against. If Elder Zhao really schemed against him, he would definitely regret it in the end. Bing Qingya did not believe that Elder Zhao had the ability to do so. Bing Changhe laughed happily. Well said. Our Bing family is fortunate to have you. Otherwise, we might have been removed from the list in this storm. Compared to those few good-for-nothings, Bing Changhe was liking Bing Qingya more and more. The items in the auction were not equipped by the other factions for the time being. The Bing family had secretly equipped a group of people and obtained a special card. All of these were brought by Bing Qingya. Qingya, what do you think of this Mu Yan? Bing Changhe asked a baffling question. Bing Qingya was very smart. She immediately understood what he was referring to. Honestly, she didn't dislike Mu Yan. She even vaguely felt a sense of familiarity from him. It was a very absurd feeling. Not bad. Bing Changhe smiled. Qingya, don't be angry. The great elder is doing this for your own good. There are countless geniuses in this world, but there aren't many who can enter the ranks of the great elder. That Mu Yan is pretty good. You can consider him. South Cloud Continent's Zhao Dezhong took the lead in hosting this banquet. Almost all the influential figures in the South Cloud Continent took the initiative to attend. No one was willing to offend Old Man Zhao. In the South Cloud Continent, Old Zhao's influence is huge. Even the Bing family is slightly inferior. The big shots that he usually couldn't see all showed up tonight. It was destined that tonight's banquet would be very extravagant. He's here, he's here. When Lin Fei arrived alone, it caused a huge commotion. As the person in charge of the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, he was also one of the few people who represented the Vengeance Alliance to travel around the world. Mu Yan's reputation was huge, no less than those top big shots. This should be Old Man Zhao. I was originally planning to pay a visit, but I've been busy. I hope Old Man Zhao won't take offense. Lin Fei was very clear about the heads of the South Cloud Continent. This old man Zhao was equivalent to a tiger sitting on the ground. Moreover, he was the fierce and overbearing kind. Seeing that Zhao Dezhong was waiting for him outside, Lin Fei didn't mind putting on an act. Zhao Dezhong actually had an image of Mu Yan. When he saw him in person, he still felt that this Mu Yan isn't simple. At such a young age, he's in charge of such a huge chamber of commerce. He's definitely young and promising. He even has a big shot backing him up. It's all right, young man. Your career is more important. Zhao Dezhong smiled. You guys are the ones who brought us hope. The servants in our mansion all said that they want to earn money to buy technological weapons. Usually they're all lazy, but now they immediately have fighting spirit. This old man has to thank you for inspiring their enthusiasm. In the hall, people stood together in groups of 3 to 5, but most of them looked at the entrance of the hall because they knew that the main character tonight wasn't them, but Mu Yan from the Avengers Alliance. Mu Yan, who is now in charge of the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, was an influential figure in the South Cloud continent. No one knew where this Mu Yan came from. There was no information about him at all. He seemed very mysterious. Zhao Dezhong and Lin Fei walked in side by side. Everyone's eyes looked over, and many of them looked very eager. Many people could see the details. This old man, Zhao, clearly placed Mu Yan in the same position as himself. This kind of attitude was really rare. Thinking about it, Mu Yan was from the Avengers Alliance, so it was normal for old man Zhao to have such an attitude. This is Mu Yan. Everyone, haven't you always wanted to meet him? Now your wish has been fulfilled. Zhao Dezhong was very good at talking. A banquet. It was nothing more than a gathering of people. The reason why Lin Fei could attend the banquet was also to strengthen cooperation with the forces of the South Cloud continent and consolidate his influence in the South Cloud continent. For the big shots who took the initiative to come up, Lin Fei was quite polite. After a while, he got to know all the leaders of the South Cloud continent. The meaning behind their words was that they all wanted to cooperate. After all, the pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. Everyone understood. Compared to the other continents, the South Cloud continent definitely had a huge advantage. With this advantage, everyone wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to strengthen their family's power. Overall, the overall strength of the South Cloud continent was the weakest among all the continents. This place was almost occupied by the human race. The other continents were constantly fighting all year round, and their strength was naturally not something the South Cloud continent could compare to. This time they saw hope. Who would be willing to miss this opportunity again? It's finally done. After a series of social engagements, Lin Fei came to the side and poured himself a glass of wine. It tasted pretty good. Congratulations, Sir Mu Yan. You have finally gained a foothold in the South Cloud continent. Can I offer you a toast? After drinking a glass of wine, Qin Ya's voice sounded in his ears. Lin Fei saw Bing Qingya holding a wine glass, standing beside him with a blushing face. She was smiling, vaguely giving people the illusion that she was as enthusiastic as fire. This is all thanks to you guys. Without your support, it would not have been easy to gain a foothold. Lin Fei smiled and took the wine glass. The two clinked glasses and drank in one gulp. This scene was naturally seen by the big forces present. Chapter 2553. Everyone was unfamiliar with Mu Yan. At the same time, he was a decisive person. To kill someone from the Tian family without giving any chance, ordinary people wouldn't do that. How to build a good relationship with Mu Yan had become an urgent matter for many big shots. Seeing this scene, everyone immediately thought of a solution. Beauty. Even heroes have a weakness for the charms of beauties. If a man has no flaws, he would be a saint. Mu Yan likes beauties, which is a good thing for them. Unfortunately, this time, they didn't bring any beauties from their clans. This gave Bing Changhe the upper hand. Everyone knew that Mu Yan from the Avengers had a conflict with the Bing family, but they never expected it to be resolved in such a short time. It wasn't hard to imagine Bing Qingyao's role in this. Everyone has their own gossip. Even big shots have their own gossip. When the banquet was about to end, Zhao Dezhong once again came to Lin Fei's side. "Brother Muyan, are you free? Let's have a chat." The banquet was secondary. The real discussion was the next step. "Just nice. I have something to do too. It's better for us to sit down and have a chat." Lin Fei didn't refuse. Although the Revenge Chamber of Commerce was very popular the moment it came out, the biggest influence was still in South Cloud Continent. There was still quite a gap between them and the other continents. Lin Fei planned to consolidate South Cloud Continent first. At most, he would advance from one continent to another. It's great that Zhao Dezhong came knocking on his door. With the other party taking the lead, it would save him a lot of trouble. As for whether or not Zhao Dezhong would scheme against him, Lin Fei believed that Zhao Dezhong didn't have the guts to do so. They had to consider in advance whether or not they could cope with the destructive attack of heavy artillery in a courtyard of the Zhao family. Compared to the lively banquet in the hall, this place seemed very quiet. There was no one around the courtyard. It turned out that there was an array here to isolate all sounds, even the invasion of divine sense. There were many people sitting in the courtyard pavilion. Among them was an old acquaintance, Bing Changha, who was looking at him with a smile. When Lin Fei walked into the courtyard, those people stood up, giving Lin Fei enough face. "Brother Mu Yan is here." One by one, they became eager. Zhao Dezhong personally introduced them. "These are some of this old man's friends from the South Cloud Continent. This is Li Ziwen, and this is—" Actually, there was no need for introductions. Lin Fei remembered them. In the banquet hall earlier, everyone had introduced themselves, so they basically got to know each other. Lin Fei also knew that the big forces in the South Cloud Continent with influence and status were basically these dozen people in front of him. Each of them could be regarded as an overlord of a region. If anyone dared to offend these dozen people, it would be equivalent to offending all the forces in the South Cloud Continent. This Zhao Dezhong was really capable to invite all of them in one go. "We have to thank Brother Muyan for bringing us such good things. Things that we didn't even dare to think about in the past have finally come true. The people from the Heavenly Secrets Hall are the worst. Every single item is so expensive. Who can afford to buy them? Brother Mu Yan is truly straightforward. Our entire South Cloud State has set our sights on the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce." "Sit down." These big shots cleverly expressed their love for the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce's items. Compared to Tianji Hall, the items at the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce were indeed cheap. Regardless of whether it was a family or a rogue cultivator, they all had the ability to buy them. It was just a matter of spending some time, but at least they had something to look forward to. If it were the items at Tianji Hall, they would basically have no chance in their lifetime. That exorbitant price would cause anyone to suck in a breath of cold air. It was something that could not be achieved in their lifetime. Lin Fei cupped his hands at everyone and said with a smile, "Thank you for your support. Originally, our Vengeance Alliance planned to research together with Tianji Hall, but unfortunately their vision is too narrow. They only care about that little bit of profit and ignore the vast market. Therefore, our Vengeance Chamber of Commerce was born. I also hope that everyone can continue to support us." With these words, Tianji Hall was once again despised by everyone. Speaking of which, everyone had a lot of complaints about Tianji Hall. The prices were ridiculously high, and almost all of them worked for Tianji Hall. The benefits they received were greatly discounted. Unfortunately, there was no other way, and they had to keep working. At this time, Zhao Dezhong said, "Brother Muyan, you opened the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce in the South Cloud State and benefited everyone. It is equivalent to us being a family. Do you think we should deepen our cooperation? It's good for you, good for me, good for everyone." Lin Fei laughed in his heart. "You've finally spoken. It seems that the technological storm has brought you too much anticipation. Basically, you can't sit still anymore." In fact, even if they did not mention it, Lin Fei would have taken the initiative to find a time to have a good chat with one of the leaders. After that auction, the number of black crystal cards obtained had reached a terrifying number. They could continuously produce a large amount of equipment for Lin Fei. As a businessman, I naturally hope that people will buy the things produced by my family. Lin Fei did not refuse. I can give you the foundation here. In order to promote the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce's products, the higher-ups have given you a discount. Anyone who buys 5 million black crystal cards will be given a 5% discount. If you buy 10 million cards, we will give you a 10% discount. If you buy 30 million cards, we will give you a 20% discount. Zhao Dezhong had never thought of scheming against Lin Fei. He did not have the guts. The overall strength of the South Cloud State was not strong. If they were to go against the unfathomable Vengeance Chamber of Commerce, they might not have much of a chance of winning. Didn't they see how the Bing family had suffered such a huge loss? In the end, they still had to obediently curry favor with the other party. This time's banquet was actually sincere. It was nothing more than to further their cooperation and maximize their advantages. Hearing Lin Fei's words, their eyes all lit up. Although the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce's products were cheap, the quantity was still not small. If they could get a discount, it would be even better. The forces present all began to calculate whether they should join forces to buy together. If they bought according to the target, they would undoubtedly be able to save a sum of black crystal cards. While they were still digesting the information, Lin Fei gave them a suggestion that moved them even more. Actually, our Vengeance Chamber of Commerce has another sales method. Perhaps you will like it. That is to pay in installments. Everyone only needs to pay a little interest. Installments. Their eyes lit up again. Hundreds of thousands or even millions of black crystal cards. Even for them, it was not a small number. Not to mention that the South Cloud continent's mineral veins were mostly small, and they did not have many black crystal cards. Their daily expenses were too high. Can you be more specific? Lin Fei was not afraid that the other party would not pay. In the ancient desolation world, Lin Fei had plenty of ways to deal with them. Even if he went to the ends of the earth, it would still be the same. Chapter 2554. Happy Cooperation. Cheers to our brother Muyen. Cheers to our Southern Cloud continent's future. The banquet at night was undoubtedly a success. Zhao Dezhong and the major powers of the Southern Cloud continent had obtained a satisfactory reply. After understanding the situation, they signed a series of cooperation agreements on the spot, purchasing technological weapons on a large scale. The final transaction number was extremely terrifying, and it would definitely cause a huge uproar if it was spread out. Anyone could imagine one thing. Soon, a powerful Southern Cloud continent would appear before everyone's eyes, and no one would be able to stop it. When Lin Fei was preparing to leave, Zhao Dezhong and the rest personally sent Lin Fei out. This cooperation was beneficial to everyone. The powers of the Southern Cloud continent had obtained what they wanted. Compared to the others, they were clearly the first to arrive. Where else could they find such a good deal? Tonight's trip was not in vain. Although it was paid in installments, Lin Fei had received 10 million black crystal cards in one go. It was a huge sum, and he was not worried that those people would not pay up. Don't look at how good their equipment was. In his eyes, those weapons were a grade lower. Lin Fei would always have new equipment in his hands. Lin Fei believed that as long as they had tasted the sweetness, they would not easily betray him. In the entire ancient desolate world, other than him, no one else could give them such an opportunity. Tianji Hall? That was impossible. When Lin Fei thought of this, his mood became extremely good. This was a good deal. Sooner or later, the Southern Cloud continent would become the strongest rear base. Everyone's interests were intertwined. Even if Lin Fei was willing, the big shots of the Southern Cloud continent might not be willing. When they were about to reach the Vengeance Merchant Association, a change occurred. 5 elements sealing formation. In the void around Lin Fei, 5 figures flashed out. When they appeared, Their bodies erupted with resplendent light, and a huge word shot out from their bodies. The 5 words gathered together and instantly transformed into a huge seal, word, landing on Lin Fei's body. Lin Fei immediately took out his high-grade energy gun and fired at the seal word. Failed. The advanced energy gun, which had always worked, had actually failed at this time. The word seal fell on Lin Fei. Warning, the player's physical body has been sealed. Warning, all the power in the player's body has been sealed. A rare warning came from the system. Lin Fei's expression sank as he sensed that his body was in a terrible state. His body and power had been sealed, and he had become like an ordinary person in an instant. Following this, he fell from the sky. It must be someone from Tianji Hall. Lin Fei was angry. 5 elements / A special connection was formed between the 5 people in the night. A bright, cold light flashed through the night. Voila! Lin Fei was stabbed in the back and blood flowed out. Voila! He was stabbed in the chest and was bleeding as well. His powerful physical body had lost its effect at this moment, and his defense was easily torn apart by the other party. In just a moment, Lin Fei's body was covered in wounds. What a special attack method! The fusion of 5 elements and the increase in power. Is this the Tianji Hall's secret trump card? Lin Fei was really caught off guard. All along, Lin Fei had not taken the Tianji Hall seriously. Unless that top-notch expert appeared, he would kill as many ordinary experts as he could. This attack had undoubtedly given Lin Fei a warning. There was always someone better than you. The Tianji Hall was not to be underestimated. Activate invincible protection. It had only been a few breaths since Lin Fei was sealed and attacked. If it had been an ordinary person, they would have been killed by this attack. Bastards of the Tianji Hall, it's my turn now. The connection between the systems was not affected by the 5-element seal. Lin Fei called on the power of the system. His physical body was temporarily unable to store any energy. Lin Fei quickly created a flying treasure below him to avoid the danger of falling further. 5 elements, sacred lotus. The 5 people's methods were extremely profound and mysterious. They did not change their expressions at all when Lin Fei changed. They instantly changed their attack method. In the darkness, a huge lotus bloomed, very eye-catching. Boom! With a loud sound, a terrifying aura rushed to the sky. With Lin Fei as the center, a destructive attack swept out. All the experts in the South Cloud continent could feel this terrifying aura at this moment. Zhao Dezhong was the first to appear in the night. His expression was uncertain as he looked in the direction of the terrifying aura. This is the 5 elements sacred lotus attack. Not good. They must have ambushed Mu Yan from the Vengeance Chamber of Commerce. Zhao Dezhong was indeed very happy tonight, because soon their family would have the opportunity to enter the Lianyun continent to compete for resources. All of this was thanks to Mu Yan. From tonight's cooperation, it was equivalent to everyone standing on the same line. If Mu Yan died, it would have a huge impact on them. Zhao Dezhong did not hesitate and immediately rushed to the place where the commotion came from. Along the way, Zhao Dezhong met Bing Changhe. Both of them were extremely anxious and cared more about this matter than anyone else. It was not easy to establish a connection, so they could not just cut off like this. It should be the 5 elements emissary from the Tianji Hall. Bing Changhe's expression was ugly. The Tianji Hall has gone too far. Like Zhao Dezhong, Bing Changhe had secretly cooperated with Mu Yan and did not want anything to happen. He even wanted the Bing family to rely on Mu Yan to strengthen the Bing family. Both of them were very anxious. During this time, many experts heard the commotion and rushed over. When they saw Zhao Dezhong and Bing Changhe, they seemed to understand what had happened. A trace of resentment quickly flashed in their eyes. Everyone was smart and knew that it was the Tianji Hall's people who did it. This move was known to all those who had reached a certain status. When they arrived at their destination, what entered their eyes was a mess. A large area of the forest had turned into scorched earth, and a pungent smell pervaded their nostrils. The 5 Elements emissary has made his move. Zhao Dezhong's heart sank. Only the 5 Elements emissary from the Tianji Hall could release 5 types of chaotic auras. They were famous existences in the ancient, desolate world. If anyone was targeted by them, there was basically no chance of survival. Brother Mu Yan. Bing Changhe released his divine sense and searched for Lin Fei's whereabouts. He kept praying in his heart, "Please be safe. You are the hope of our Bing family." With Bing Changhe's actions, everyone followed suit. Everyone's expression was ugly. Were they really going to be happy for nothing? This was not what they wanted to see. In their opinion, facing the 5 Elements emissary was definitely not good. "Here,